But Mimi says that she saw a bald eagle flying, carrying a small kitten.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, July 12th, 2015. Time once again for your Gitmo Nation Media Assassination, episode 738.
This is No Agenda.
Back from the least supportive country of the show, and once again broadcasting live from the central storage of all Russian gas and oil, Rotterdam, the Netherlands. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I'm still waiting for the July 4th terrorist attack, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Yeah, and of course, things never go easy when you come back from a little break. We have technical stream difficulties.
Yeah, well, we're still doing the show. If the stream comes on later, it comes on.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, though? So I'm in the chat room, and when you get to our noagendastream.com page, that's where you normally hear the stream. And so it's playing some horrible loop of something, like stand by, the show is on its way, or something. Doom, 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 doom. And there's a whole bunch of reasons we can't get on the stream. But the snark and the unfunniness of a chat room, it's disturbing.
Let me guess one of the. I haven't seen it. Let me guess one of the things. Jiggle the handle.
Yeah. Jiggle the handle. Yes, of course. It's just the stupidest
How many times
things.
does somebody type in this particular chat room? Jiggle the handle.
I don't know if it's. Is it only our particular chat room or is it?
I've never seen jiggle the handle except in our chat room.
Well, that is, yeah, of course.
It's an obvious gag. I mean, but.
Yeah, but
I've noticed that the chat room, not the chat rooms, but the comments on comments sites are extremely. I think they've gone downhill. I mean, they've always
Really?
been crummy.
Yeah,
but sometimes you'll go through the comments and you just laugh out loud because somebody just says just the right thing, and there's still some forums and some comment areas that still do that, but generally not anymore.
It's funny you bring that up because. During this break, a couple of times, maybe once or twice over a 3-day period, I was like, I'm just going to really follow Facebook and see what's going on. And this Facebook is exactly the opposite. It's all filled with, I love you. This is great. My life is fantastic. Look at this beautiful sunset. My macaroni and cheese looks so good. Oh, rest in peace. Oh, not another one. Oh, yes, take the flag down. Yes, it's all the same.
Sweetness and light.
Yeah, sweetness and light, rainbows and unicorns, and it's so phony. Everybody's using that Perfect 365 app to make themselves look all beautiful.
I don't know what this app is.
Yeah, we've talked about it. You've even used it.
I have?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we've talked about it. It's the one that Christina
had.
I've
talked about it, but I've never used it.
Oh, I thought you had checked it out and not, that you had checked it out and said it's incredible what you can do with it.
Huh.
Well, anyway. But
what does it do? It just softens your face.
You can put makeup on your face. You can, make your eyes wider. Anything you want with this app.
Eyes wider. You can make yourself look like an alien.
Yeah, I know you don't have a Facebook account, but if you look at it, it's everything. Everyone's all filtered up, and it's so fake. It's so phony, and people are having all these politically correct conversations. So it's interesting that you get on the open fora, as you would call it, open. Out there,
yeah,
or the chat rooms.
What they want.
Yeah, everyone's full. It's kind of the opposite. Everyone's full of memes.
I think maybe that's the reason it's gone so downhill because everybody uses Facebook.
Oh wait, look, no stream today due to glitch. Show canceled. I mean, really?
Everybody uses Facebook, and because it's so politically correct, and I think some of these other things are similar, they get frustrated. Because they can't be honest. And so they go all completely, the pendulum goes completely in the opposite direction. They just become a-holes.
Yeah. So there is no middle ground. There's no place you actually want to be anymore online.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Don't you remember how the AOL, you'll be like, oh, we can't wait to be on the internet. AOL so restrictive. You can't publish easy. You can't do anything. And now everyone's gone right back to the AOL model. It's baffling, I tell you. Baffling.
And they seem to like it.
Yeah, but it's baffling.
Well, maybe it's because it's not stressful.
Yeah, I think people don't realize it's actually very stressful because they all feel like you feel like shit We see
everything's one-upsmanship.
Yeah, everyone's cool life is out there. And oh, the pet obituaries. Oh, man. Mimi's good at that, too.
Well,
pet obituaries. Anyway.
My poor dog died. Oh, that's so sad. Did you love your dog? Oh, I did. I love my dog.
No. It's like, poor Mr. Snuggles. He was my friend for 29 years. I loved him so much.
And faithful companion.
Faithful companion. It's
like my husband, that son of a bitch.
Exactly. Who cares about him? Oh, I guarantee you. You ask any, particularly, I'll be very misogynistic here, but if you ask women about, about this animal was being mistreated versus, how about the people sleeping, homeless on the street? It'd be the animal first. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Anyway, did you have a nice little break, John?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah,
I didn't get to L.A., so that was a disappointment, but I did do a lot of work here, and I got some stuff I needed to get done, finished.
Yeah, I knew you hadn't gone to L.A. because for some reason you thought that while I was taking a break, I'm going to be watching all these YouTube videos you're sending me. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no what?
I'm not going to. You're like, hey, check this out. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is actually well. And you're like, it's a 2-hour documentary. No.
Yes, a 2-hour documentary. I got that out of the way.
I'm in the south of France.
I ran into. It was about some aliens or some crazy theories. I don't know what these were, but I do know that I'm looking at. I'm saying, who is producing these things? This is an hour 20 minutes.
Yeah, they're good. They're very good.
I figure you're going to likely look at something that's like a 2-minute clip.
No,
my favorite thing was in the last newsletter. Every time I see this little clip, I can't stop laughing about the poor waitress.
Oh, who falls through the window?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know why it's so. And in fact, you have to almost frame by frame it to see what happened. She gets up, she turns to the left, she turns around to the, I guess, counterclockwise. And then she catches her foot on these stupid stools and tangles herself up in the thing as she's recovering from that. And as she does so, she steps into the same situation on another stool on her right foot.
Yeah.
And that does it. Now she's completely disabled. She loses her balance. And I thought she was going to go head first through the thing, but she actually took a shoulder into the window.
That to me wasn't my favorite clip. I like the women hot crazy Matrix clip. That's what I like.
The women hot crazy Matrix.
Oh, you've never seen this?
No, I don't think so.
Oh man. Oh. Yeah, it's how to choose a woman, and you have it's a matrix. You have the one axis is the hotness scale, and the other one is the crazy scale, which starts at 4 because there's no such thing as a woman who's less crazy than 4. And then you have this, this no-go zone.
Well, you're on a roll today.
This no-go zone.
Stick with this theme. Bash the women.
You got to see this. Anyway, I'll put it in the show notes. So I think we're getting the stream restarted. But anyway, I realized. I've been to my friend Michelle's house in the south of France 3 times. Once with wife number 1, once with wife number 2. So I was there alone this time. But I'd never realized, nor had I been there in an upload situation. Really, the internet in France, it sucks balls. It's really ass.
By the way, this is a video you're talking about, Hot Crazy Matrix.
Yes, it is. It is.
Oh, okay. I've seen this before. It is quite funny.
It's very funny. It took me 2.5 hours to upload episode 736 and 737. And I thought, I'll have everything. I'll just whip it together. Plenty of time on Thursday and Sunday and upload it. And I'm sitting there. I'm going, excuse me. I'm driving to other Wi-Fi locations. The internet in France, at least in the south of France where I was, is completely crap. No wonder we have no support from France. They're barely online.
They can't hear the show.
Yeah. I was flabbergasted. It's the same thing with Italy.
You've been there before.
I never had to upload a show. And we're talking ADSL at 100 kilobits a second, John. This is crap.
So it's not 100 kilobits a second. That's the best speed you can get.
That's I'm sure. Oh yeah. And I went to different locations, and everyone was like, yeah, my French is not that great.
It actually surprises me it's that slow generally around there. Because most of Europe, I think, and I know Germany's got some quick stuff, and Sweden for sure.
Yep. But the French, no, and not at all. So I can understand where just they also don't really seem to care. They just don't care. So I spent a lot of time reading newspapers every morning. I'd get British newspaper, Dutch newspaper. I would read Financial Times, which is always nice, and just trying to get a general idea of what was going on. You could see this ramp up of Greece. Just the day I left, which was Saturday, it was just wall to wall Greece coverage, and it's quite fascinating what has happened. And I'm monitoring the TV right now. Looks like there's still no deal.
You're still in France, right?
No, I'm back in Rotterdam.
Oh, you're in Rotterdam.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And this morning, the Finnish Minister of Finance. Now, let me see. So last night. They met until 2 or 3 a.m. They came back this morning at 11. This is the 19 finance ministers. And they quit with no deal. And now there's going to be a General Assembly vote, I think. And they're going to see what can be done. And one of the so-called proposed solutions is a temporary timeout, like a 5-year get out of the euro and come back in, which seems highly...
That's not going to work.
Seems highly unlikely.
That's not going to work. There's two political reasons that's not going to work. One, if they get out of the euro and then actually do well within the 5-year period, and they do well, they kind of improve, everything looks better, then the whole thing is just a sham, and they're going to have to. Everyone's going to do that. I mean, Portugal will be out next.
Well, there's really no. I mean, there's damned if they are, damned if they don't. They're certainly not going to get out.
I think the guy who quit, the Austin, Texas professor.
How about that? He gets a no vote and then he quits? Oh, come. Oh, yes, there are certain people, certain elements around who don't want me a part of the negotiations. I'm just going to stand over here so I don't get any blood splatter on me. What a dick.
No, I disagree 100% with that.
Oh, he wants to get out of. He doesn't want any fallout on him. He's still in the cabinet. He's just not the finance minister. He wants some other guy. I
think you're making a huge error.
Oh, tell me. Well, tell me.
Because he is a game theorist.
Mm-hmm.
This was part of his game to begin with. That's why he was such a dick all the time, to draw attention to himself. I mean, if he's a game theorist, that means he plays games. He knows how to game the system. He knows how the interactions with people work.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be really good at this.
Right.
He would do exactly what he did and then completely pull away from it for the exact purpose that he said. I think he's doing it. I think everything he did was genius.
What do you mean for the exact purpose that he said? The exact purpose is
the purpose he said was I'm going to annoy too many people by still being here, so I'm going to pull out of this right now. And I think that's exactly true.
Right, but,
I think that's what he meant to do. He was to create a kind of a lightning rod. Mm-hmm. Everyone's talking about him and his motorcycle and his leather jacket.
Right, but
the guy never wears a tie.
But what is the result? But what is the end result? It's only going to be more austerity for Greece. They're still going in trying to cut a deal. Only the deal will be shittier.
Well,
so what was his point? What did
I don't see the deal. You're assuming that what you just said is even remotely true. That may not happen at all.
What, a deal?
The deal may not be worse.
Well,
and they're going to get more free money.
Let's listen. It doesn't seem so apparent, John. It just doesn't.
Don't. I mean, the issue. I think the point is, and I think maybe they're starting to come to this conclusion, is that, and I actually posted this, and somebody posted, "You're full of crap." We took the United States. We all were in this together. I mean, all these countries, Europe and the United States, and the rest of it in the 2008
crisis. Yeah, the Great Recession
was a collapse of whatever.
Yeah.
Great Recession.
The Great Recession,
which was a depression, which most people recognize that follow this. And we took the approach of stimulus.
Right.
Europe took the approach of austerity, which only benefited Germany, by the way, coincidentally.
Mm-hmm.
And the austerity approach simply did not work. And Greece is the absolute best case example of this.
Right.
They went to austerity. It collapsed the economy.
Yeah.
The idea was that they would get back on track, but it didn't get them back on track. It made things worse.
Okay, so
these idiots in Europe don't seem to understand that.
But I just want to ask you a question. So the obvious solution is to get a new currency or bring back the drachma and have that obviously devalued almost overnight, and then start rebuilding like in a way like Iceland did, only with more people. And you're still going to have to you have your assets that you're going to sell off. But if Tsipras and Rockstar guy, if they really wanted, I'm trying to figure out what was their goal. Because all they've achieved now by asking people to say, do you want more austerity? No. And then the only conversation is not even about the money anymore. The conversation that the finance minister was having was about trust. They don't trust that the Greeks will actually put more austerity on their people, the Greek government.
I don't know how they can, by the way.
I think, just stick a knife in everyone. Hey, this is from Jizzlebloom. Now, the deal last night was all 19 finance ministers had to agree, and otherwise there would be no bailout package, which, by the way, is coming from the ESM. Remember we talked about that years ago, this European Stability Mechanism? So they're not.
We did, actually.
They're not asking, in great detail, and they're not asking for any money from the central bank. They're saying we want to tap into the ESM, which is a fund to stabilize Europe. So if a Greek exit would destabilize Europe, then that could trigger use of that fund. The funny thing is, these same 19 finance ministers, if you remember, they were all celebrating and hooting and hollering because they had signed this deal, which in effect gives up sovereignty over their capital. Because when the ESM calls for cash, they are obliged now by the treaty to put in whatever is required. And so that's what the Greeks are going after. It's something different now. And then we have the Finnish finance minister, and he's the one apparently making trouble.
Sorry? No one is blocking a deal. We are all constructively trying to find a solution in a very difficult situation. What we are saying is that the conditionality that has been presented by the Greeks is simply not enough at this stage. We need to have clear commitments, clear conditionality, and clear proof that those conditions will be implemented at the end of the day.
Yeah, you see what he's saying? It's like, we don't trust these fuckers. That's what he's saying.
Well, he's probably right.
Yeah, of course.
Did you see the Belgium, the Belgian guy that is the representative in the EU Parliament? Did you see him go off on the Greeks?
No. Do you have a clip?
Oh my God! No, I didn't make the clip because the guy can barely be understood. As most, although I should go back and get the clip so you can use that as part of your vocalization of this accent.
We are very, very not going to do this, because we just don't want to have any kind of Greek stuff now. It's crazy. The Greeks, fuck them.
Yeah,
that was kind of good, right?
It was okay, but it wasn't as funny as the Belgian guy.
That was the Belgian guy.
And then, of course, Farage comes out, and he
had a great speech.
It was a speech about get out while you can.
No, I think he was saying be brave and actually walk out. And Tsipras is just sitting there going, Do you have that speech?
No.
It was a pretty good one. Probably see if I can find that. So anyway,
I thought it was a mild one from him, but yeah,
he was the only one making sense. He's saying this European project doesn't work. Now, meanwhile, the financial sector doesn't actually seem to have any issues with what's going on. Everything's just kind of moving along. The euro hasn't collapsed. No crazy stuff has gone down. So I don't think it matters.
Somebody pointed this out on one of the shows. I was watching there's certain shows on CNBC I watch just regularly. And somebody pointed out that there is no support, and if you look at the charts, for the euro, if it goes below 110, if it goes below 110.
It might as well drop to 80. It can go all the way down to 80 or some crazy number like that.
Yeah, it goes right down to 85.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that would be fun to watch. And I'm thinking,
I'm ready for that one.
But it was very interesting to see it was definitely the conversation in Europe, and the French, because the French have the same problem. They have huge debt. They've got austerity. They're like, oh, what's going to happen to us? And France, they're effed, man. You can't work more than 30. What is it? It's 28 hours a week by law. And they have squads that go around and check to make sure you're not working more than 28 hours a week.
How do they know?
Well, they have
Squad comes knocking on the door and they say, "How long you been working?"
Yeah, they got brown shirts. Yeah,
28, only 20 hours. Okay, you got 8 to go.
Yeah. Of course, this thing is from the BBC. Now, there's a lot going on when your banks are shut. A lot happens, and this is now the second. We're going into was it the third week now? Yeah, it was only going to be 1 week, then it was going to be 1 week, and then it was going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe, and now we're all the way at Sunday, and now the banks, of course, probably won't even open for a third week. And so, besides ATM issues, now you have problems of just doing commerce. And the BBC, good old BBC, put one together for us.
Well, my name is Kat, and I'm a psychotherapist. I need to be able to run my website, which is based on a web hosting service, which is not in Greece. My web hosting service for my website, they need me to update my payment method, and I have no way to do that. Because right now our money is actually stuck in the bank. We cannot really use it, and we cannot pay for anything using our cards.
So that's Katerina talking about the difficulties she's having getting in touch with online services.
And what solution does the BBC have, John, for Greece?
Borrow the money, go to England. I have no idea.
And some Greeks are now actually turning to the decentralized cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Let's hear more
Bitcoin.
now from Andreas Antonopoulos.
Bitcoin to the rescue.
You can. I can imagine some. We have a lot of Bitcoin aficionados that listen to the show. I'm sure that as they say, "Oh, you guys can laugh."
Bitcoin will save them.
Would have worked.
We'll see. Now would be the time to provide a shining example. A shining example, I say.
Yeah. Well, they would be assuming the hosting service takes Bitcoin, which is probably not always rare. It's rare.
That's not that rare. There's a lot of
keep a bank account someplace else.
No. See, it really is becoming a problem. And you look at the Netherlands. Man,
all right, as a problem though, let's say you're the hosting service.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, hello, hosting service.
Hold on a second. Hello. This is offshore hosting service.
Yeah, hello.
Hey.
Is there anybody customer service? Anybody I can?
Yeah, hold on a second. Customer service. How can I help you?
Yeah, this is me. I'm John here over I'm in Athens.
Oh, no, not
Greece.
Athens. Oh, no.
What do you mean, oh, no?
Oh, no.
What have you heard?
I've heard it's bad.
Well, here's the problem. You've sent me a number of notices on this. And
yeah, you got to pay up, sucker.
What kind of a hosting service are you? If I would call and say, hello, hosting service. This is my situation. Can you just float me?
No, that's not how it works, John. You call the hosting service, you get, please use the online system for all your queries and all your payments. You won't get any. You won't talk to anybody at a hosting service. You're not going to get customer service.
I could get a hold of or email them. You can email them.
Yeah. Okay.
And beg.
Right. So the problem is your credit card is just no longer working. That's the problem. They said, well, do you have another card? No, I don't have another card. You need to use something. And I'm pretty sure web hosting services will accept Bitcoin to help. It's good PR. That's what I would do.
Get an American Express card, people.
So the Dutch continue with their cashless society. Man, the campaign is fantastic. They're teaching kids how to use the bank cards. The princess does.
Just take a look at what happened in Greece. I would never go in that direction now.
Yeah, but they have campaigns. Yes, please. You can use your PIN. We've talked about that. That's the on chip, the chip on the card system.
The PIN and chip.
PIN and chip. Well, yeah. Although the PIN and chip card that I have is bull crap. It's just a credit card. There's no PIN and it's even less secure than ever. Anyway, yeah, you can either swipe the magnetic stripe or insert your chip, and then they don't ask you for a PIN card, and you still just have to sign your signature. It's just like swiping. There's no difference. No PIN card.
The American Express sent me a new card. They said, "Oh, we got to get all new cards," and so I got a new card that's got the PIN, and it's called PIN and signature or something.
Yeah, PIN and signature.
Chip
yes.
and sig.
No, yeah, chip and sig. It's the same as swiping the card. It's useless.
So you stick the thing in the hole at the bottom of these devices, and in it goes, and then you sign. And so I call up customer service because I was activating the card, and I asked them, "Will this work in Europe?"
Yeah, and they all say, "Yeah."
Won't.
Did they say yes?
No, same thing.
No, it doesn't work.
I'm sure it doesn't work.
Anyway.
But do they take any cards over there? If I'm floating around Amsterdam with my chip and sig thing, and I want to use it for...
It sounds like a venereal disease. Hey, man, I got chip and sig. Back off.
I got chip and sig.
Don't touch that.
It's horrible.
You really don't want to kiss me right now.
Don't use ointment. It falls off.
Really, chip and sig is just bad news. I got it from that girl over there. There are, so for instance, if you go to certain supermarkets, they have a cash aisle and they have a pin only, not chip and pin, not chip and sig, pin only. And my card will not work in that. And that's the whole kind of point. Anyway,
I don't know why they can't get this to go universal.
I'm sure it has to do with
your
fees.
card should work there.
Yeah, it should. It should.
We're American.
Damn it. Yeah, but there's please you can chip for small amounts. They're really pushing. Don't carry around. It's almost like it's wow, you're still using cash. Pff, you're not with the program. It's really is that kind of vibe. Anyway,
so it's sincere hatred. They've managed to talk the Dutch people into hating money.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And, Ancilla, one of our producers, she wrote a pretty good article about it in, it was a magazine that's in the weekend newspaper. Reputable. More reputable than Parade.
Parade.
Anyway, so
the New York Review of Books?
Yeah, probably.
Well, anyway, what did she say?
Well, very similar. That the Queen is even promoting using banks and borrowing money and using credit to preschool, not preschoolers, grade school. And when the Queen comes around and says that, and she's also hot, it's like I'll do whatever you want. I'm cash bad, and many stores that just don't even accept cash anymore. And
we need a cash bad chip good jingle.
We did get a couple of good jingles in during our absence, which is always nice.
Women just encircled the Christians and went, Satan, 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 oh, give us power! Ah, Satan!
By the way, I've collected a series of those, which I didn't bring to today's show because I figured we'd be talking about other stuff. But I'm probably bring it out on Thursday.
Well, I want to talk about the United Kingdom's.
Because apparently the seed guy has got a real hard-on for Glenn Beck.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Who cares?
Well, it's funny.
Well, yeah.
I'm talking. You think that last clip was funny? I got stuff that'll floor you.
Well, to transition, and I do want to talk about the UK, because, of course, I was staying with an English host who doesn't have a hosting company, but an English host, and so we had to watch the English news. But first, one of a few new submissions.
Listen. Hey, you're in my house. Hey. Shame on you. You shouldn't be doing this.
I thought that was one of the better ones.
That is quite good.
That's Mike Molaro. It was his wife Jane's idea. He was quick to point out. That was good, right?
That was outstanding.
So the Chancellor of the Exchequer, that's the Exchequer. We're just going to call it Exchequer. Osborne, he announced the budget in the United Kingdom, which is it's their annual budget, and it was very interesting to watch because you're about to witness the next prime minister. He will be the guy, and it's witnessed. And actually, it was Michelle who pointed this out to me. Listen to how he announces the national living wage.
What's this guy's name again?
Osborne. Osborne.
Oh, yeah.
Young, good-looking guy. He's got the little red briefcase, and he's showing the budget, and there were a couple of policies that were interesting. The first is a national living wage, which is I think it's completely compatible with what we would call the minimum wage, and that is going to be raised. And this will happen. I think they start in now and then 2017, and by the time he will be prime minister, which is in 4 years, I think. He will be prime minister, particularly if you listen to how he announced this pay raise for people working for minimum wages.
I am today introducing a new national living wage. We will set it to reach £9 an hour by 2020. The new national living wage will be compulsory. Working people aged 25 and over will receive it. It will start next April at the rate of £7.20. The Low Pay Commission will recommend future rises that achieve the government's objective of reaching 6%.
Now, if here in the United States our Secretary of the Treasury, which is that Jack Lew?
Yeah, Jack Lew.
There's a guy if you bumped into him on the street, nobody would know this guy. If he said, I am announcing a new minimum wage, there'd be some problems in the White House.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is what Osborne is all about. I am announcing, I am doing this.
I'm raising the tax-free personal allowance to £11,000 next year.
I'm raising the tax-free allowance. So this is clearly the guy who's going to take it to the next level. And then came something very...
I've seen this guy in action. He's a total douche.
Yeah, of course he is.
If you think Ed Miliband is bad, this guy's worse.
He's milquetoast, for sure. So then this got my ears perked up with this.
To make sure work pays for parents, I can confirm that from September 2017, all working parents of 3 and 4-year-olds will receive free childcare of up to 30 hours a week.
Yeah, here.
Okay. And then a policy, an actual policy.
Another decision that most families make is how many children they have, conscious that each extra child costs the family more. In the current tax credit system, each extra child brings an additional payment of £2,780 a year. It's important to support families, but it's also important to be fair to the many working families who don't see their budgets rise by anything like that when they have more children. So this is the balance that we will strike. In future, we will limit the support provided through tax credits and universal credit to 2 children. Families who have a third or subsequent child after April 2017 will not receive additional tax credit or UC support for this child.
Now, this is interesting. This is a 2-child per family policy.
Well, since you weren't here.
Yes.
In parallel with that, we're doing the same thing. It was a big discussion on the NewsHour.
Oh. You got a clip?
So there's something up with this.
Well, this is... so 2 children, that's pretty much... It should be 2.3 or something, I guess, to procreate. But I looked it up, and this debate has been ongoing in England for quite a while about trying to set a policy for 2 children per family. Because of the growth is explosive in the United Kingdom, and you know where the growth is coming from.
Yeah, immigrants.
Yeah, with 7 or 8, kids all getting £2,000 a year. And I was kind of hanging out with some British people, and it was kind of a collective, yeah, fuck them.
Really? Yeah, that's the British.
Yeah. And I think you're going to see this.
Well, you pronounce it differently.
Fuck them. Yeah. I think the Netherlands would respond very favorably to this, because this is when you have these huge subsidies and you have 8 kids. All of a sudden that's you're starting to talk some real money.
It's a profit center.
Yeah, it is. You're talking some real money. And I don't think that really got a lot of play. But you say that, but this is now a discussion point
talking about
in the U.S.
Revamping welfare, and they're thinking of the way that I was understanding what they were talking about. This is on one of the chat shows at the round table,
right?
Is they bring in you go to when you sign up for welfare, if you have to have public assistance, when you sign up, say you've got 2 kids or 3 kids, you can't have any more kids,
right?
And that's part of the deal.
What happens if you have a kid?
There was an indication that 2 was like the optimal.
But what happens if you then still have a kid? Does like a drone come by?
That's what the point of debate was. What happens? And, well, you get screwed. And now you're back where you started from because you don't have enough money to get yourself out of the hole. And so it becomes like debatable. There's modern ways of dealing with these poverty issues, which would include guaranteed income. And Nixon was a big fan of the reverse income tax. And
what was the reverse income tax?
Yeah, that means everyone's guaranteed. Let's set the low. What does it take to not be living in poverty, where you could actually afford to?
Yeah, what is that? Do you think?
I think it's about $30,000 in today's world. But I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, so I could be wrong.
Okay, so everyone gets that. Well,
everyone gets that, and when you make more money than so that's what you get. That's your base,
right?
And then now you have to work out what happens if you actually have a job,
right?
And it would be like they'd nick a piece of the job.
Well, the way it works here in the Netherlands is if you have some form of government assistance, when you get a job. Anything that's accretive, anything that's over that government assistance is then deducted from the government assistance.
That's no good. That's exactly the problem. You can't do that way because say you have a baseline of $30,000 that everybody gets. And, there'll be a lot of capitalist absolutists out there that listen to this because I get into arguments with Horowitz about it because he's as far as he's concerned, people can just shrivel and die. No offense to Andrew.
No, but he's a Rothschild.
That's what he thinks.
He's a Rothschild. We all know that.
He's one of the he's one of the classic guys that
Baron Andrew de Rothschild.
But he's not. He's Jewish, but not a Democrat. So there's that kind of.
Wow, that's like Jon Stewart. Only he won't admit it.
Pretty similar.
Yeah.
And I can see the perspective, but it's impractical in a world of today where we have robots. And I have to harken back to when I was a little kid, like say I was in the 5th grade.
Right.
And we were told this in the grammar schools in my era, that eventually the robots will be making everything. You won't have a job. There won't be any assembly line jobs. And there are very few nowadays. All have been shipped to China. But when I was a kid, I always got work. But you can't anymore.
Me too.
And so what happens is the robots take over. The money then goes and gets distributed to the population that are citizens of the country.
Right. Well, then our leaders
because there will be no jobs.
Our leaders are actually visionary in this case, limiting it to 2 children per family, which means you kind of just stay status quo, just kind of muddle along. And they know because
the robots make the money, and you get a bunch of assistants.
The robots. Wait a minute. If the robots are making the money, who's really? Is that going to be Google since they own all the robots?
Well, they own some robots. A lot of people own robots. Whoever owns the robots, supposedly it's going to be distributed throughout the great happy nation. But what happens is that some guy buys a robot and he makes more money because then it goes right into his pockets.
Right.
And then he fires somebody. So he says, I've saved all this money. Let me buy a second robot. Buys a second robot, fires somebody, puts the money in his pocket. Next thing you know, he's got
economics.
10,000 robots. Nobody's working and he's just taking all the money.
That's right. Yeah. That's the idea.
That is the capitalist dream.
Now, however, I would like to point out, and I've had many discussions about this, particularly in light of the glitch day. Oh.
I have the clip. Before you talk about the glitch day, play the clip.
I have
because
a
I got
too.
2 people saying glitch within 15 seconds of each other.
I got glitch too. We'll do.
Well, this is a better glitch.
When it doesn't work, right? It has been a rough day, but things are finally back to normal at the New York Stock Exchange, the Wall Street Journal, and United Airlines. All 3 were brought to a halt by computer glitches.
3 glitches made for a difficult Wednesday in the air, on the markets, and on the web. Trading on the.
This is so not acceptable in professional journalism.
You didn't get the double glitch, did you?
Well, I have a glitch with Comey.
Well, we can go. We're going to do a whole section on Comey.
All right. Well, here I'll rewind a little because that was a good glitch to glitch handover.
All 3 were brought to a halt by computer glitches.
3 glitches made for a difficult Wednesday in the air, on the markets, and on the web.
Wait a minute. Stop again.
There
was one word exchanged between the 2 glitches. I think this is a record.
This is only one word between two glitches.
When it doesn't work, right? It has been a rough day, but things are finally back to normal at the New York Stock Exchange, the Wall Street Journal, and United Airlines. All three were brought to a halt by computer glitches.
3 glitches made for
There's nothing in between. It's 3 glitches. The word 3.
3, that's a word.
difficult Wednesday in the air, on the markets, and on the web. Trading on the New York Stock Exchange came to a halt for hours because of what the company calls an internal technical issue.
I got 99 glitches.
The exchange took to Twitter to reassure traders it was not the result of a cyber breach. Many traders took it all in stride.
If we got spooked or panicked by something like this, then we're in the wrong business. I mean, we deal with things that are of far greater risk and importance, I think, than something like this.
About the same time, the Wall Street Journal's homepage went down.
Panic!
Readers found a message saying WSJ.com is having technical difficulties and the full site will return shortly. About 45 minutes later, the site was back up.
I call hereby. I call a call to action for all web admins. Make your 404 not found page just a big word glitch. It's a glitch. We want a 404 glitch page. So people like, it's just a glitch. And put a goatsy on there, will you?
Earlier in the day, United Airlines grounded hundreds of flights for more than an hour. The problem, a busted router would not let the airline's computers talk to one another.
Nah.
The problem was worked out and relieved passengers were eventually back on their way.
Now, before we continue.
A busted router.
Yeah. But so.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, look, this router is busted.
Hey, man, what's wrong with the router?
Busted
is good. So this type of reporting, because you're right, John, the robots will definitely take, they're already writing a lot of financial news. They will take over the journalist's job when this is the level of reporting that they grasp onto. Just, it's a glitch. Everything's a glitch. No, it's not a glitch. There is a bug. Well, in fact, I can tell you exactly what happened with United Airlines because one of our producers.
The router was busted.
A dude named Ben here. I work with the woman responsible for installing the server in New Orleans that brought our network down yesterday. It wasn't a glitch or a 6-week cycle cyber attack, just crappy hardware and software that effectively DDoSed ourselves, jamming up the bandwidth till we found out the problem was, quote, in the house and pulled the plug. The lady that I the lady that I work for said it was the worst day of her career. And then he ends with
sound like a busted router.
And he says, "Guess that's what we get for running our airline on Microsoft." No, that's a good point. No, they DDoS themselves, so it was a instead of busted router, they should have said our router was full.
It was full. It's full.
I would just like someone to be on television. And United Airlines recognized the problem was their router was full. Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah, well, this is a busted router. I thought was funny.
Busted router. This is okay. So, and I have to bring this to a point about what people's expectations are about software. Now, your iPhone, it's full of glitches. It has glitches. Every piece of software has glitches. Some may never surface. Some may pop up by just random. We had a glitch the other day. I couldn't get the Freedom Controller to work, and it was because there in the open source software that creates a short URL link, there's a list of short URLs that it won't create, like cunt, ass, stuff like that. And lo and behold, by some act of random numbers, there was a short URL created with ass in it. And so the whole system broke. And this is after 6 years of using this stuff. So things do happen. And all software has bugs and is shitty. And if you really think that you're going to get a fail-safe, free, great ride on your autonomous vehicle, think again. There's going to be glitches. Some people are going to die. You are going to die. None of this is really good. But people have this fantasy, like, hey, look, I can see where I am on my iPhone. Well, why won't this stuff work? So this is what you then get.
Now to the computer glitches, the major ones that brought both the New York Stock Exchange and United Airlines to a halt. The unrelated problems have now been fixed, but the fallout is just beginning. We have it all covered, including the security concerns being raised, beginning with NBC's Gabe Gutierrez. He is at the New York Stock Exchange.
Now, this was also interesting, where, to me, seemingly important people who I was around, intelligent people, they said, wait a minute, this can't be a coincidence. With the New York Stock Exchange, United Airlines, and the Wall Street Journal, this must be, you don't think China has thousands of guys trying to cyber attack us right now? I'm like, are you insane? And like, no, and I'm saying, and you call me a conspiracy theorist, and you're now putting these three things together because they lumped them into one report.
And that's actually an interesting observation.
Whoa, yeah.
Hey, Gabe, good morning.
This morning, the New York Stock Exchange is trying to bounce back after
Why
Wall
am I
Street
shouting?
Why not? It's a glitch.
Hit a wall.
Welcome back. While we were in commercial break, traders here at the NYSE just said, whoa.
Without warning, at 11:32 Wednesday, all trading was shut down.
Now, that is not true. The trading kept on going through other systems. They just couldn't get a real-time index. Is pretty much the only problem that they were able to circumvent everything, but that's not in the report.
Floor has been frozen. The floor was stunned. Frustrated traders with no access to stock price.
And they got photos of guys with their heads in their hands. Oh, what am I going to do? And all that's missing is a guy jumping out the window. Like
the photographic equivalent of B-roll.
Had to manually cancel about 700,000 orders already in the system. At 12:09, the exchange tweeted, "We're experiencing a technical issue."
This was an inconvenience. Here.
This is a guy from the stock exchange, and he's right. It's an inconvenience. It's okay.
The New York Stock Exchange, but because of quick thinking, as far as I know, no clients were hurt and nobody suffered a big loss.
It came just hours after the computer system for United Airlines also froze, fueling.
It froze, John. You know why?
Why?
Oh, the router was busted.
Oh yes.
You already know this.
Fears of cyber attacks.
It appears, from what we know at this stage, that the malfunctions at United and
this is J. Johnson.
The stock exchange were not the result of any nefarious actor.
So while terrorism is ruled out, the cause is still unclear. An overnight software update may have played a role.
That's exactly what happened, and they admitted it 2 days later in the Financial Times. It was a software upgrade that failed. And when you have these flash trading guys, with hundredths of a second trying to get stuff down, it's shitty software, and you're going to break stuff. The No Agenda Wi-Fi went away at Schiphol Airport. You're going to love this story. Okay. And so I got in touch with our anonymous Wi-Fi night, and I said, dude, what's going on? I said, I no longer work in that particular area, consultancy, whatever. I don't want to divulge too much about his position. He said, but they did a complete upgrade of all of the Wi-Fi systems, and they saw these, this whole network called No Agenda, and I was like, anything that was kind of left over, they got rid of. And he says, I don't work there, so I'll have to see what I can do. Then I land at Schiphol when I arrived in Rotterdam 10 days ago, and I see it's up, and I'm like, no, actually, I'm sorry, it was when I was flying to France. I say, hey, the network is up. He said, yeah, the upgrade was so catastrophic, they rolled everything back to the way it was, including our network. So that just goes to show this stuff breaks.
It's hilarious.
It's crap. Well, we have our network back. That's what's nice.
Shutdowns
for now. Apparently, they're going to try to upgrade.
Yeah.
These are rare, but
they take more than one shot at these upgrades.
Yeah, but it's going to be a while for sure. They're not going to just deploy, easily now, because apparently it really was a mess.
Actor.
So while terrorism is ruled out, the cause is still unclear. An overnight software update may have played a role. Shutdowns like this are rare, but not unheard of. In 2013, another technical glitch paralyzed the NASDAQ for 3 hours.
The Dow closed down 261 points, not just because of this glitch, but also because of financial problems in Greece and China. The night before, the hacker group Anonymous had sent out a cryptic tweet seeming to suggest that there would be problems here. But again, again, Homeland Security officials say there is no credible evidence to suggest that this was a cyber attack. Hoda.
Wow, but that tweet is interesting. All right, Gabe Gutierrez. Gabe, thanks so much.
Wow, yeah, that tweet is interesting.
Oh, brother.
It's unconscionable what these people are doing. This is not, you journalists, you are going to be taken over by robots first because you just accept glitch. It's so stupid.
A robot can take and write a press release.
They're already doing it. They're already doing it. Financial press releases are, a lot of them done by robots. Sports scores, those stories also written by robots.
There's not a lot needed. Yeah, you just get the wire and you're ready to go. Good to go.
Yeah, but I'm just warning. I'm just trying to ring the bell and say the people should also. This is okay. These are silly network shows, NBC, Today Show, but I'm sure the PBS is not doing any better. They're just glitch.
They haven't used the word. You know who doesn't use the word glitch? And I've been tracking this a little bit.
Okay,
Amy Goodman's show.
Really?
Yeah, somebody goes out of their way not to use the word glitch. Well, they call it a problem. They had a problem.
Okay, well that's good. But they just replace the word glitch with another one.
Yeah, problem.
Single word.
But problem is a good word.
Yeah.
That has it has a generalized meaning that people a problem. It could have been a million things. Glitch is like a specific thing that doesn't mean anything at all.
Yeah.
Very strange. Well, let's at least get this out of the way. I want to play because the July 4th, you weren't here for the July 4th, the Horror Fest.
We were warned that it was going to be we were going to have all kinds of attacks, and people would die.
Peter King was on. By the way, he was on again and again and again. And Peter King came on after there was nothing happened, and he says, "Oh, dodged a bullet."
Hey, I just remembered something, or I realized something. You know why Amy Goodman doesn't say glitch?
Because she can't say glitch.
Because she's a robot. She's already taken over.
That could be robot.
Drooling robot.
She does a robotic read.
Yeah, I think Amy Goodman is a robot.
So this is the terror. This is the bull crap. So the government decides to say, well, nothing happened because it wasn't really within our 6-week cycle, which, by the way, is the July 15th.
Which is
for anyone out there keeping score.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be a series of little incidents. But they had to, since they scared the crap out of the public on every show, Fox in particular, with Megyn Kelly going, "Oh, how are we going to enjoy the 4th with all these threats, swords?"
Was she doing this? Was she working on the 4th of July? Was she working?
She was working before the 4th, and I don't know that she worked on the 4th.
What a buzzkill!
The 4th was a Saturday. She doesn't work on Saturday. So let's just play this. This is from CNN International. And they're giving us just dodged a bullet. We got lucky.
Americans didn't know it at the time, but they had several close calls leading up to the July 4th holiday, potential terror attacks inspired by ISIS. Chief U.S. security correspondent Jim Sciutto has that for us.
U.S. law enforcement thwarted several terror plots in the last 4 weeks, including plots timed to the July 4th weekend, U.S. officials tell CNN. Director James Comey says the FBI has made more than 10 ISIS-related arrests in the last month, some tied to the holiday.
They stopped the stuff that was trying to come at us for July 4th, but now it's July 7th and 8th, and they're on to the next thing.
The foiled attacks included targets coast to coast and were unsophisticated, with plans that included guns.
Whoa, what was that? Did they have cyber stuff they were showing?
Okay. You guys have backed it up a little bit. So that when they said coast to coast, they have a U.S.
cyber map of the United
States,
and
like a scan, like it's like a radar scan crossing it, like you were looking at planes in the air.
Yeah.
And across the country, there were thousands and thousands and thousands of dots.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's the taser. Hold on, we have to have we have a better sound.
Thousands of plots. And then the guy says, right after that, he says the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
4th, but now it's July 7th and 8th, and they're on to the next thing.
The foiled attacks included targets coast to coast and were unsophisticated, with plans that included guns, knives, and other weapons fitting ISIS's public calls.
Wait a minute.
Plans including guns.
But guns, knives, and
knives.
How is that a cyber attack?
About cyber, is about the July 4th terrorists.
Oh, I thought that okay.
Supporters to attack in any way possible. Investigators believe that ISIS members overseas enabled the plots, recruiting and encouraging Americans to carry out attacks on U.S. soil.
I think what happened was I heard the sound effects, and you were talking about the map, and I thought they were like cyber pings or something.
Oh.
It was just location of all these attacks. I get it now. With knives and guns and other clubs.
Knives and guns.
And clubs and brass knuckles.
Clubs and rakes.
Brass knuckles.
Even selecting
knuckles.
Don't you remember when brass knuckles? Oh man, they fucked him up with some brass knuckles, man.
Yeah,
that was that. And you don't hear that anymore.
No,
we should bring them back.
Marginalized.
We should bring back the brass knuckles. That was manly.
And they made them illegal, you know.
Yeah, well, so are guns.
You know, the old trick my dad used to always say: if you're ever going to get into a fight. I said, well,
have a gun.
Inconvenient. This is what I call inconvenient but interesting information.
Okay.
He says most people, when you're in a fight, if you have to hit somebody really hard in the face, you're striking your closed fist against their face. And a lot of people don't realize that in the sport of boxing, the reason they wear the glove
so they don't
is
break
not
their hand.
to protect people's face.
Yeah.
It's to protect the hand.
Right.
Because in closed fist boxing, when you hit a guy really hard in the face, it will break you'll kill it'll hurt your hand.
Yeah.
But not if you have a roll of quarters in your fist.
Right.
So always carry around a roll of quarters was his advice. Luckily, I don't get into fights, and I don't intend to. But the roll of quarters apparently makes the fist so you can really. So I saw it once. You see it once in a while in a movie.
Another fighting tip from John C. Dvorak.
You see it in a movie once in a while. You don't see it so much, but you see it in the old noir movies in the 30s and 40s.
How about I recommend having nunchucks. I think that's
well, yeah, that would be good. But you always pop myself in the head with those. So you'd see this fight, and the guy would hit some guy and just make him fly, and there'd be quarters flying everywhere.
Oh,
yeah, that's what that's a reference to.
Is that a roll of quarters in your pocket?
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Sophisticated, with plans that included guns, knives, and other weapons, fitting ISIS's public calls to supporters to attack in any way possible. Investigators believe that ISIS members overseas enabled the plots, recruiting and encouraging Americans to carry out attacks on U.S. soil, even selecting possible targets. Comey calls it crowdsourcing terrorists. Senator James Rich telling CNN Wednesday that time was critical.
Some were quite imminent, actually.
Within days?
Within days. There was one, of course, there was even one that was within hours or minutes.
The foiled plots come as the FBI continues to warn that terror suspects have gone dark in cyberspace.
Dark!
Increasingly communicating through encrypted messaging that is widely available, but impossible for the intelligence community to monitor. July 4th weekend may have passed, but U.S. officials tell CNN that the risk of terror attacks remains very high.
Based on very recent past trends, ISIS has been
Very recent past trends. What is that?
It's a recent past trend.
No, that's
very recent.
Very recent past trend. That don't sound like it. Doesn't sound right.
A recent past trend.
No, a recent past trend.
But U.S. officials tell CNN that the risk of terror attacks remains very high.
Based on very recent past trend.
In this presentation. So we still have to be scared.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, public, cower in the corner.
Yes. Shelter in place.
So they had no evidence that anything happened. This was the lamest thing. And this is government sources tell us.
Now,
we stopped one a minute before it happened. Well, what was it? What happened? What did you stop? Who was it? Well, you'd like to brag about these guys.
Well, Comey had something on this. He had some. He didn't have proof, but he had numbers. Hold on a second. What did we have? It was.
The FBI brags about these things when they catch somebody.
Hold on. Here's my report.
As big cities were making plans for July 4th celebrations, the FBI was making arrests. Some of those rounded up, the FBI says, were talking about killing people during the holiday.
With a knife.
FBI agents made a dozen terror-related arrests in the past month, and the FBI director said today that some were carried out to thwart planned attacks. 5 of those arrests came in the New York area. 2 others came in Boston.
See, that's a little bit more information.
Now, at least there's in New York and Boston.
And investigators
5 random arrests.
Yeah.
say a third man there, Osama Rahim, killed a month ago, originally planned attacks on July 4th.
Yeah, the dead man. They're blaming on the dead guy.
The dead guy.
You already killed.
The FBI says
killed this guy weeks ago, but he was going to do this on the 4th.
That's right.
Is that their claim?
That's the claim.
Will they grab his dead body, shake him? Tell us.
In Boston, and investigators say a third man there, Osama Rahim, killed a month ago, originally planned attacks on July 4th. The FBI says all were communicating with ISIS figures overseas, responding to social media messages advocating violence, blasted out to cell phones.
There is a device, almost a devil on their shoulder all day long saying, kill, 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 kill.
You got to clip that.
Hold on a second. Now, do you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some more good songs out of this. It's unbelievable. Let me roll that back. That was I like that. I'm sorry, I hadn't ISO'd that yet.
Messages advocating violence blasted out to cell phones.
There is a device, almost a devil on their shoulder all day long saying, kill, 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 kill.
We need to kill them. We need to kill them.
The FBI says ISIS directs those who respond to the tweets to use applications like WhatsApp and Threema that encrypt a message as soon as it's sent and don't unscramble it.
Now, hold on one second. Threema? Have you ever heard of Threema?
It seems to when you hear that, I didn't hear this before, but when you hear that, you have to think, who paid who to plug this company?
Threema, right.
Now, it's like, remember when Obama kept saying kayak.com?
Yeah, no, it wasn't Kayak. It was that's the travel site. No, it was
I think it was Kayak.
No, it was some voice service that we never heard of. Some voice over IP thing.
Well, whatever. We see these guys plugging these companies out of the blue, and that was a plug.
Yeah, that was a.
I never heard of them.
Look it up.
Threema.
Threema.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, you look it up.
Stop the report.
Now, WhatsApp, of course, is a Facebook property. And so I'm going to predict that this whole encryption thing, and I'm sure we'll both have some clips about this, is going to come down to Facebook complying. And as we know, the FBI, well, at least the previous FBI director, had an office in the
Facebook's
in
Facebook.
Yeah.
It's probably still there. It probably says FBI on the door.
Yeah, and when Mark Zuckerberg was Time Magazine's Man of the Year, right there in the interview, it's Robert, what was his last name?
Mueller.
Robert Mueller, Bob Mueller. He popped his head in and said, "Hey, I was just in the building anyway, just checking out my desk, and I just wanted to say hi." So the FBI will be in there with Facebook. I think the intent is for Facebook to be on board. Threema, what you got?
Threema is a Swiss company. They don't sell or collect data. They are all fully encrypted, and it's a cell phone product. So it's like you've seen a couple of these different ones. Yeah. I haven't heard of this one.
There's several of them.
I'd say it's probably a pretty secure, I would hope, unless they're saying. The problem is I don't trust the government when they say or they. Unless that was a CNN or somebody else that was promoting it.
What you want is you want one of the.
I'm always worried about the honeypot factory.
Right, but you want one of these open.
Get them on this Threema thing, and we've got it made.
You want one of these open source products like Signal. Signal is open source, and I think you're pretty safe with that. So, and there's no company behind it. It's just a Git. Okay.
A new terror.
Oops. This one.
Until it's received. The company handling the message can't read it either, even when the government comes with a court order.
Our job is to look at a haystack the size of this country for needles that are increasingly invisible to us because of end-to-end encryption.
Now, that means he's searching around. I mean, searching for a needle in a haystack, that doesn't mean that someone says, "Hey, look at this needle." No, he's searching for needles. So he's kind of implicating himself in what he really wants.
But many internet security experts say what the FBI wants, some way for the companies to capture and hand over the data, is a bad idea.
A debate on privacy versus security that's now heating up in Congress.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I got some clips about this.
Yeah.
There's something phony about some of this. And Feinstein, by the way, is actually kind of hilarious. She, because ever since she's been burned when she released that report, and this is the This is the House or the Senate Committee on Intelligence.
Right. I have 2 clips from this as well, but let's see what you have.
I've got, first of all, Feinstein. I've got a funny Feinstein clip we can play later where she says, "You guys are looking for a front door key?"
No.
Just play this clip, the Feinstein versus Comey front door key.
Okay. And let me ask you to respond. This is another quote from this same letter. Requiring technology that provides law enforcement access to information also risks undermining the security of all electronic communications and digitally stored information. End quote. Would you comment on that? As I understand it, what you would be talking about is some kind of front door key?
Again, it's hard. My reaction to that comment is maybe. And if that's the case, well, I guess we're stuck.
This is, okay, my clips fit in very well with this.
All right, well, let me go. Can I finish then? I just got, in this round of Comey clips, I got 2.
Okay.
The first one is Feinstein. They go around a few times with these people. So Feinstein comes on, and she has she's a little confused, but she's got this idea that we have a bunch of laws that force companies, if they see child porn, they have to report it, and there's just something to do with child porn. And she asked Comey, why don't we just take and just write another law that's just like this, the same thing about terrorism?
Right.
And Comey he says, he gets all confused. He says, I don't know what, and he doesn't understand the question. So she grills him a little bit more, and his answer is so disturbing to her that she says, she's very upset. And then she asks one more question. And then when she ends, this is the clip of Feinstein versus Comey, just versus Comey. When she ends, he has some dumb answer. She's just got this look of, she smiles and she says, this is bullshit, she's thinking to herself.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. This committee passed out its intelligence authorization bill, I think, on June 24th. And in that bill, we put a provision which would require technology companies to inform the appropriate authority when they obtain knowledge of terrorist activity. Now, this is modeled after an existing law which requires technology companies to notify authorities about cases of child pornography, but it doesn't require companies to monitor any user, subscriber, or customer. It is really the beginning of saying, look, Mr. and Mrs. American Technology, you have a responsibility too. What do you think of that?
No, it doesn't seem that complicated for Comey.
No, it doesn't.
It's an interesting idea. I've heard about it. My folks have told me about it. I haven't read it or studied it. And so I frankly can't give you an intelligent answer. It's an interesting idea. I do find in practice that they are pretty good about telling us what they see. So I have to give you a non-answer.
It's pretty simple. We do that for child pornography. Don't you think we should do it for possible terrorist acts?
Maybe, but I haven't heard. I'd want to hear out the other side.
Oh, dear.
I want to make sure I'm not missing something. Again, haven't read it.
Or the other side of his mouth that he's talking out of?
I mean, I'm dumb enough when I know something. This is something I haven't studied enough to give you an intelligent answer.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Bullshit. What she's sensing, and I think what I would take away from this exchange was that we can't allow this sort of activity because we can't phony stuff up so easily.
Yeah,
that's what he's. We can't have anything that's like a solid way of a solid procedure or process, because that won't allow us the leeway we need to phony up these phony baloney events and these phony baloney people that we arrest and all the rest of it. That's what they came away with. Now, after she was done, Wyden comes out and he's got a bone to pick with Comey. And this is the Wyden clip. And Wyden, and what's interesting about this clip, he grills Comey about what he says. We're not going to do this because I've seen this coming down the road before. We're not going to do something, and he discusses it. And then at the very end of the clip, you have to listen because there is a little exchange between Wyden and Feinstein because they're sitting next to each other, and she's asking about something in the morning. And then they pass it on to another guy, this Heinrich Brown-Noser comes on last, and I just only have the very beginning of it.
Who's that? Heinrich Brown-Noser?
Heinrich Brown-Noser. And this Senator Heinrich, and he is one of these guys. Oh, thank you for your service.
Oh, yes.
You've done such a great...
you're keeping the American people safe.
Skeleton in the closet, so he's just praising what a great man Comey is.
Heinrich Brown-Noser.
Comey, one last question.
Well, who is this? Who's question? Who is this?
This is Wyden. Wyden is the guy, I think he's from Oregon.
He came across as extremely
gay. He's been on
gay.
the Intelligence Committee forever, and he's the guy who says, who came on the floor and said, oh, there's horrible things the NSA is doing, but he would never tell us what.
What I just heard, he sounded really gay.
He's got a horrible lisp.
Comey, one last question. If the United States were to require our companies doing business here to ensure government access to encrypted communications, would you expect that foreign governments would create the same requirement for companies operating there?
I think they might, or might try to.
And I will tell you that, in my view, would clearly be the outcome. I think that would make American individuals and businesses more vulnerable to surveillance by foreign governments. And I just want to leave you with one last thought. I've been on this committee for 14 years, so I kind of get a sense where something is headed. And I think, Mr. Director, where this is headed is towards proposals for some kind of stockpile of encryption keys. I don't think...
Oh, hello, Captain Obvious. Welcome to the party.
We haven't fleshed out where senators are going to want to go, but I get the sense that's where this is going. There should be some kind of stockpile of encryption keys for the government to access. I just want you to know that I'm willing to work with you on ideas here, but I think this proposal is a big-time loser. It's a loser on security grounds for the reasons that I've mentioned. It is a retreat on privacy, and I think it will do great damage to our cutting-edge digital companies that have jobs that pay good wages. So I hope we're not going to go there. I just want you to know my...
All that's missing is saying girlfriend. I hope you're not going to go there, girlfriend Comey.
Having listened to a couple of hours of this and listening to this morning's testimony, where I think this is headed, and I think it is the wrong way to proceed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Where did you get that this morning?
Senator,
what did she say? Where did you get that?
Where did you get that this morning?
I thought she was talking about the Birkin bag. Where did you get that Birkin bag? My
and
God.
Then you just hear a little bit of Heinrich coming in at the end.
I love your Birkin bag. Where did you get that? Hey, 2 snaps on what you just said to him.
Where did you get that this morning?
Senator Heinrich.
Director Comey, you've heard this before, but I want to say it again.
Hold on a second. Could you spread your cheeks, please, Mr. Comey? Here comes my nose.
Please thank all of your personnel.
And then what happened?
He goes on and on and on. Never ask a question that I can.
But I just have dead air on your clip here.
Oh, that shouldn't be there. But anyway, okay, you're up.
Okay, I got it. All right. I had something similar on the encryption, but I like the exchange between Senator Roy Blunt, who is Mississippi. I think he's Mississippi.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll look it up.
And he's a Republican.
Thank you, Senator. The recruitment tends to take place...
All right, this was about ISIS recruiting through cyber.
In a way that we, with lawful process, can see it, either usually on Twitter or Twitter direct messaging.
There's some intel we didn't have yet. That they apparently can get Twitter direct messaging.
Which are not encrypted.
Because they're not encrypted.
Mm-hmm. And then, if it looks productive to the ISIL recruiters, they move them to the end-to-end encrypted communication. And so of major concern is, what are the guys in Syria telling these guys, and what are they telling them back? And what are they saying to their buddies using encrypted platforms within the United States?
Hey, Ahmed, buddy. What?
He's from Missouri.
Ahmed, buddy. I got to tell you something.
It's both the international, right, and the local within a network in the United States.
I guess what I'm asking is,
listen to these guys completely lose the plot on how any of this works, and pretty much say, no matter what you want to do, it's still not going to work.
That the international encrypted equipment is still available is there anything we can do that stops that from being a problem that you can't penetrate?
I think the answer...
Can you penetrate the problem for me, Senator? I mean, Mr. Comey. These guys are already just off the rails. Have no idea what they're talking about.
Again, I'm not an expert. If the
at least he's honest.
servers are located entirely outside the United States, that we would have a heck of a time enforcing a regime that would require them to give us access. Now,
so is he not saying exactly why this will never work? Is that if the service or the service is run in a country that will not comply with whatever we tell them to do, then people will just use that.
That would be that's what they would, Well,
I suppose an expert might say...
Of course, what neither of them, what both of them failed to realize is that there's also the devices themselves that have a lot of this built in. Browsers. Browsers. You know, you'll certainly have to have a key for that then, because there's also encrypted HTTPS.
Yeah, well, but if it transits the United States, there's some way we can impose our will on it. I just don't know well enough to evaluate that. So I do think one of the challenges that people have raised with this is, say, even if we fix our problem, you have to address it in some fashion internationally, because the really bad guys will move to infrastructure that is in Western Europe. And so to solve your problem...
Hey, guess where we're going next? Where the really bad guys are. Western Europe. Hello, Western Europe. We're coming for your really bad guys.
People say, America's got to get its act together, and it's the big dog, so you probably ought to do it first.
Well, we're the big dog. Hey, we're going to do this. Yeah, you do it. We're the big dog.
Then your colleagues and allies in Western Europe have to get their act together to make sure there isn't a safe haven there. Now, that still leaves you with people who might want to move their infrastructure to some other less well-governed part of the world.
Yemen.
So you're always
pick and choose wherever we want to have regime change.
Going to have a small part of that problem, but I think the main part of the problem could be dealt with North America and Europe focusing on it.
And is Europe focusing on it?
Yes. As I think I said earlier, the UK and France are a little bit ahead of us on this.
Yeah, good work, UK.
French in particular in the wake of Charlie Hebdo and the Brits. Both, as I know the British better, have legislation that requires access to communications. Their challenge is the reverse of what you're saying. The infrastructure is in the United States on which they want to compel access. And so trying to figure out how to deal with that is a challenge we're still working through.
And so the infrastructure is really the target as opposed to the device somebody might be using, even if the device is encrypted. What infrastructure it goes through may or may not accept that.
Hey, I can't use this phone. What are the numbers on the screen? I got to dial. It's got like crazy crap.
These guys,
my phone is encrypted.
I'm glad it's funny because it's so sad.
Encrypted message.
Well, I think the reason I was talking about the infrastructure is that would give you the ability to compel some... to impose a requirement that provider, the owner of that infrastructure that sits in your country, comply with American law to give judicial orders and make them effective. The challenge is, if the infrastructure is not in the United States, who are you compelling?
He's creating a horrible argument here by saying, I want encryption. I want to have the keys to the front door, to Feinstein's front door. But it doesn't really matter because there'll be other countries that won't have that. I mean, I don't understand why he's saying any of this. And then I
have no idea.
There's this little exchange.
And we've got security. As a number of senators have said, I care a lot about cybersecurity. I love strong encryption.
So remember this, people. Strong encryption equals government has keys. That's the brand now. Strong encryption. What does that even mean?
Strong encryption.
You're a technology reporter, John. You're an author. You are a well-respected intellectual.
More bits.
What is strong more bits?
More bits.
Is that triple DES 256 something or others?
Just 512. Move it up.
So how do we take those things we care about, innovation and jobs, security on the internet, and security for ordinary people from crime and terrorism, how do we maximize them all? How do we optimize them all?
So we can get in.
And as I said, some smart people say, well, if you do anything, it'll destroy the internet or it'll chase all the business overseas.
Whoa. Now that's serious. There are smart people who say, if let's just listen to that again.
Change anything.
It's going to destroy the internet.
Everything up. Idiot.
Destroy the internet.
Them all. And as I said, some smart people say...
Some smart people. Who do you think those smart people are? Probably Megan. What's her name from Google, who's the CIO?
Smith.
What? Megan Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's her. He's like, I know some really smart people.
Destroy the internet.
Well, if you do anything, it'll destroy the internet or it'll chase all the business overseas.
Oh, my God. All the business will be overseas.
Business has already been chased overseas by other reasons.
By a tax regime.
I have 2 more Comey clips.
Oh, I'm almost done.
I do think we have to engage on the technical solution with smart people and creative people.
Where can we find said smart and creative people, John? Where could they be?
They can't get clearances. There was a whole thing on, I think it was 60 Minutes or one of these shows, that the government can't hire half of the people that they'd like to get because they won't pass these.
They smoke weed
with all
and
these
snort
clearance
coke.
checks, which is now owned by whoever stole all the documents.
They're doing drugs, John. They're all doing drugs.
Like a stoner.
They're all doing drugs.
Hey, man, I can figure this out.
Come on, there's got to be a huge drug scene in Silicon Valley. Don't you think?
Just a lot of. I don't know this for a fact anymore but I believe there's a lot of cocaine being used.
It's got to be just rampant.
Yeah,
snorting it off of naked women and stuff. Come on.
I don't know about that. I don't think that goes on.
No. Boring.
And we need
it's boring. In Hollywood, you get that.
Think about, is there an international aspect to this? And again, I'm making this up, but ought not the civilized rule of law countries agree upon it?
He says, did you just hear what he said? I'm making this up.
He said I'm just making this up.
Yeah. He's just, and no one goes, excuse me, you're here talking to the Senate and you're making things up?
Technical solution with smart people and creative people. And we need to think about, is there an international aspect to this? And again, I'm making this up, but ought not the civilized rule of law countries agree upon a framework that makes sense?
Oh, framework.
Sometimes people say to me, well, if we do this for you, we got to do it for China.
Yeah.
And my response is, well, if China wants you to do for me, for them, what I want you to do, which is require me to go to an independent judge, show probable cause, get a written order, right? Be subject to all this constraint and oversight. That would be great for the Chinese people.
Yeah.
I don't think China wants you to do what I want you to do, so I'm less worried about what we agree to being used against us in China, but I am worried about this point that's raised about chasing business to other parts of the Western world, which is why I think we got to be thoughtful about it.
Ugh.
Uh-huh.
This guy.
He's got to go.
Oh, he's in for the long. No, he is in for a reason. I'm telling you, something's going to happen with banks because this guy is a banker.
Yeah, he's a banker. You might be right.
HSBC, and he's in there for a reason.
This is Comey on Twitter. Play this clip, and then
I just want to reiterate for everybody: this is the current director of the FBI. He was on the board of HSBC, I believe, during
the money laundering days.
The money laundering days of the Mexican drug cartels. And now he's the director of FBI. So he's got the goods on lots of people, and he's in this position for a reason. Maybe when something happens.
You can intercept the data, but it's gobbledygook.
Gobbledygook.
We can't break that encryption.
Right.
It's gobbledygook.
Yeah, that part I understand. Okay. So the social media platforms, they still see no issue once it's clearly known that this is an illegal activity that's happening on their platform. Is their response to say you can't do that on our platform, or their response is, hey, we're just open for anything, whether it's prostitution, child porn, or terrorism, you can use it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood the question, Senator. They're being quite good about
it.
It's called the digital millennium.
The question the guy asked, which is essentially that question, the one you just heard.
Yeah.
With a bunch of crap about encryption. And finally he gets back on track.
Yeah, but this guy's a moron. Has he not heard of the DMCA?
Well, here we go.
Oh, same clip, just continue?
Yeah.
And it's gotten increasingly good over the last year. Twitter does not want people engaging in soliciting advertising, criminal activity.
Notice advertising is top of the list before criminal activity. Twitter's more interested in you ripping off some advertising opportunity than you killing yourself or somebody else.
People engaging in soliciting advertising, criminal activity of any sort on their social media platform, but they're being particularly aggressive at shutting down and trying to stop ISIL-related sites. I think it actually led ISIL to threaten to kill their CEO.
Wait a minute.
That's what you got it.
Oh, man. Oh, nice one. Yeah, I'll give it to you for that.
Clip of the day.
Nice.
I looked it up. And
well
it was
played,
one
sir.
report on this whole thing.
Well played.
It was going to kill the guy. And so I think that's one of the reasons Costello quit.
Yeah, because he was
screw it. Why am I just? I can be a CEO someplace else. I don't without somebody wanting to kill me. All right, now here's one you're going to save. You're going to think of a clip to play, but you have to wait till the whole clip is over because this is Comey.
I got it.
This is Comey. He's going to say he gets close. And he gets closer to saying it. You can hear it. He wants to say it. He gets closer and closer, but he never says it, or does he?
Lone wolf people who are either inspired or directed from out of their country to do something. And of course, the most recent and horrific example is what happened in Tunisia just last week. And without, obviously, we are in an open session, I understand that, but I'd like to give you the opportunity to talk to the American people and tell them what a concern this is for you, how this fits into your priorities, and what you're doing about this in matters that are unclassified. Could you do that for me, please?
Thank you, Senator. ISIL is reaching into the United States, to all 50 states, trying to motivate troubled souls and increasingly...
Wait, hold on. We have a health crisis.
Troubled souls.
Troubled souls. Write that down, possible title. Troubled souls. Sad.
Kids to either come to their caliphate or kill where you are.
What's the song? Kill as you are. Jeez, this Comey guy.
Are you sitting around? Kill.
3 more days till Halloween.
Or kill where you are.
Kill where you are, damn it.
And social media, this investment in buzzing in your pocket all day long actually works. It works to sell shoes. It works to sell cars. It works to motivate troubled souls to do bad things. We are now reaping the results.
Well, how come these guys have to spend $2 billion to become president then? If you can just get a hold of these troubled souls, you can win anything.
Buzz in their pocket.
Buzz in the pocket.
It works to sell cars. It works to motivate troubled souls to do bad things. We are now reaping the results of...
I think it should be a part of our In the Morning, Troubled Soul. In the Morning to you, Troubled Soul.
Of a year-long effort by ISIL to invest in this social media push, which is why you see so many arrests by the FBI. And these are our disruptions, stopping people from going and shooting innocent people or trying to behead them. And so this is going on all over the place. We're working very, very hard on it. I want the American people to know about it because it's an important thing, but we also need their help. In almost every case,
I get it.
Someone saw something. Someone saw something weird that didn't seem right. We got to get folks just to tell us. I mean, human nature is to write an innocent narrative over the hair standing up on the back of your neck and say, I must have misunderstood. He must be having a bad day. Okay, if it's just a bad day, there won't be a problem. We investigate in secret so we don't smear innocent folks.
Oh, secret.
But we got to get folks, when they see something that makes the hair stand up on the back of the neck, say, that guy doesn't seem right. And tell somebody.
Come on, do it.
So that we can check it out, right? We need the help. Because this spans all 50 states, we got state and local law enforcement helping us all around the country. We need the good folks of America. They see something that seems out of place, just say something.
If you see something, say something.
You know, if this guy were the CEO of Coke, you know, the board would have his head if he got through a whole speech. And you know, we have this drink that's sugary and it's brown and it goes very well with alcohol and just doesn't mention Coke. This is his brand. See something, say something.
Yeah, it took him forever to get to it.
He should have been mentioning it the whole time.
I think he forgot it. I think that's why he was beating around the bush so long.
He's like, what the fuck was that slogan again?
Let me think. There's something to see something, tell someone. If you see something, tell someone. No, that's not it. Now, if you see something, refer to the police. Oh,
call
damn it, that's not it.
And you can see that cranking away in his brain, right?
He forgot the phrase.
He forgot the phrase that pays. What a dork. Unbelievable. That was a very good clip. It's almost as good as my Obama clip, which I'm sure you saw, but just in case you didn't or other people hadn't heard it.
Was moving too slowly.
but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province.
Yeah, we're training ISIL forces.
That is a classic. I forgot to clip it myself.
How good is that?
Did. And this is the basis of the no agenda theory, that you always say the truth eventually, because humans do that. They blurt it out in all sorts of different ways. I stole the cookies. Freudian slips, that they're called.
Yeah.
And that was a classic.
But he was, and
ISIL.
I went back and looked at the clip a couple times. He's reading this off his paper, or there's a prompter in the table, but he is reading this,
and it still comes out.
Because what could he have actually been meant to say? That he confuses.
Training against ISIL. We're training. Well, play it again and let's see if we can figure that out.
And no one behind him caught it. They're just sitting there thinking, "Oh man, I'm on TV behind the president. Oh, man, I'm getting hard. Oh, crap, I can't get hard because everyone will see I got a big boner. Oh, no." They were not listening.
They're not listening. That's what's going on.
Too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes.
He must have meant anti-ISIL forces, don't you think?
Yeah, that would be it.
What a canar.
We're continuing training of ISIL forces. It would because what they're anti-ISIL force. Yeah, it would be. That would probably be it.
Oops.
I don't know how the word anti would be hyphenated. Be right there.
Oops. And then I had
it has to be that.
Excuse me. There were. I want to save. I see that you have a lot of Dunford stuff, so we'll do that after we.
It could have been. It may have not have been. It may have actually been that way on the sheet, because, I mean, that's how deep the lie would be. Because we're training ISIL forces. We're training the.
Well, of course we are.
Assumes.
Yeah.
That is the forces that will be fighting ISIL. They're ISIL forces. They're the ISIL unit of the army.
I don't know, but it clearly we should not be training ISIL forces. But
no, we should not.
That is not the way the script was written. What do I have here? Oh yeah, there was a. Now, how did I come about this? I found this thing called the Sawab Center, which is SAWAB Center.org, SawabCenter.org. And where did this come up? This came up. What was it? Maybe it was just in relation to this, but this is a State Department, USAID, a joint venture with the United Arab Emirates, and their entire mission is to make people aware of. Did you go to the website by any chance?
No, I'm opening the email I forgot to open.
Oh, okay. Are you paying attention?
Yeah, you're talking about like swab sailors or something.
Just like you're standing behind the president and he's like, whatever. I don't know what Curry's doing. I'm opening up an email. Here it is. Sawab, who we are. Sawab is a joint initiative by the governments of the United Arab Emirates and the United States in support of the Global Coalition Against Daesh, DAESH, which is the term that...
The right term.
Yeah, which they've been trying to push. And it says Sawab, SAWAB, United Against Extremism. There's a whole thing there that we haven't been exposed to yet. What we do, the word Sawab in Arabic signifies doing the right thing or being on the right path. Sawab will use online communication and social media tools to put things in the right perspective and to amplify those many moderate voices that too often get drowned out by the noise of the extremists. And they stand for diversity, progress, transparency, tolerance, moderation, etc., etc., etc.
Where'd you get this?
Well, I found out there was a video. That's what it was. So they have this video. I'll just play that and then we'll take our break. You got to listen to this. It's kind of interesting. So again, it's the State Department. This is what they're trying to do by approaching this from a social media perspective. This is how we're going to stop ISIL. In other words, we could have made this up and putting millions in our pocket.
All over the world, there are more than 1.5 billion Muslims. They live in harmony with other religions across different cultures and societies.
So you see
Islam
a whole bunch of little
peace, compassion,
little
inclusion.
blue figurines.
These principles are a central element of its faith.
Ominous music.
Yet the actions of a minority have tried to hijack this identity and heritage. They distort the image of Islam with the spread of hate, fear, and intolerance. Just as they have hijacked a religion, they have also hijacked the world of social media.
Oh, you see where this is going? They've hijacked the world of social media. Yeah, I'm inundated. I'm being recruited every single day.
Money.
Yeah, big money.
Left it on the table.
We sure did.
Using it to spread their malicious and destructive ideology.
No.
But the voices of over 1 billion Muslims and hundreds of millions of others cannot be drowned out by the hatred of just a few.
Yeah, I don't think they are. Do you think they're getting drowned out?
The overwhelming majority must be heard.
I don't think they're getting drowned out.
No. Anyway, this is what these guys do.
I think our media drowns them out, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it was kind of anticlimactic.
Okay, I'll fix it. I'll make you happy. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, John C. Dvorak.
In the morning to you, Adam Curry. Also in the morning to all ships and sea boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water. And in the morning to all the people that make these clips.
Yes.
And all the dames and knights out there.
Adam Ventre made that for us. And in the morning,
that was a beauty.
Wasn't that great? In the morning to everyone in the chat room who hung with us throughout our late start today. On the live stream, and in the morning to our...
Are we streaming live now?
Yeah, we've been streaming for most of the show, actually. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I should have sent a tweet out. I didn't.
Well, that's okay. Well, we got 1,000 people in there, so something stuck. Thank you to our artists for episode 736. We thank Sir John Fletcher, for that. And for episode 737, the interview show, which got a lot of good feedback on, except for the audio quality. But we kind of knew there was going to be a problem. And the art for that was done by Pay. It
comes and goes.
And so what are we doing today? Are we thanking everybody who came in just since our last?
We got 3 shows to thank people.
Okay, wow, nice.
It's a longer list than usual, but hold on a second. But it's a good list. So let's thank these people, and they'll be given credits for today's show. Except for Anthony Seven is the top of the list. He's oh, geez, I thought I had a note from him.
Well, you think you would?
Let me take a look. I have to stop.
Do you have to go to the other computer?
No. This computer.
Do I need to fill up with some?
Play the no thing again. By the way, they do remix that with a higher with the Obama a little louder.
Okay.
Not you, the originator.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell him. All right. Here, one more time. Did you get his note?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Greetings from Indianapolis. It's been over a year since my last contribution. You and Adam have indeed done your part to keep me sane since then. The episodes have been particularly excellent of late. I have therefore decided to heed your sage advice and try my bank's free electronic check writing service.
Nice.
By the way, there's 3 or 4 of these systems out there, and you get all these checks, and they come in various manners. But this particular system he uses is the one that is the most old-fashioned of all of them, and it's a you get this kind of, it looks like a piece of paper that you tear off the edges.
Oh, yeah.
You get to the check in the middle. It's like a
you fold it in the middle.
There's a lot of people that use this system in a lot of banks. I mean, it's just one check, so it's not really cost effective, and I think it'll be discontinued eventually. But only twice is it just always $5, $10 maybe in these types of checks, and twice. And this is one of the times you open the thing up expecting your normal thing. You pull it, and it's $737 in this thing. It just, for some reason, amuses me. One time somebody was an Instanite doing this.
So we can.
Anyways, a few minutes ago, I was pleased to complete the simple task of sending a contribution, which is very easy to do with free electronic check writing, of $737.37 to the cause via my bank's webpage. I hope you received the check in time for episode 737. Well, even if we did, it wouldn't get credited there, but we will credit you on today's show for being a member of the 737 Club.
That's right.
Show 738.
And does he not become a knight today, I believe? I have a feeling.
I think he is a knight.
No, it's in blue. Anthony 7 becomes Sir Anthony 7.
Yeah, okay, so he's now a knight.
The system works.
Anyway, so it amuses me anyway.
Nice.
Sir Mark, our buddy in Japan, the great architect.
Yeah. Baron of Tokyo. The Baron of Tokyo.
Simply happy 4th of July. Thanks for keeping us sane, Sir Mark, the Baron of Tokyo. Nicholas Stowe in Austin, Texas. 333. Thanks for 2 excellent shows during your well-deserved break.
Sir Mr. Nick.
Nick in Austin, Texas.
Thank you.
Rosalind Furness in Turnbridge Wells, Kent, 24212. Dear Adam and John, thank you so much for the extreme courage and dynamite something. Let me pull this thing open wide. Analysis, which has kept me from being driven to the brink of insanity by the mainstream media since I started listening to the best podcast in the universe a year ago. Each working day, I commute a total of almost 4 hours. Holy crap. Each working day, I commute a total of almost 4 hours.
Damn.
To perform my duties as an underpaid slave in the world of London publishing. As I wend, she's in the publishing game, so I'll read it as though she is. As I wend my story way to the office, I observe the pallid faces of the mindless hordes of fellow commuter slaves around me, sucking up the twisted stories they're being fed by the newspapers. And a wave of relief, coupled with a shamefully pleasant sense of smug superiority, washes over me, knowing I'm not being sucked into their vortex of lies, because I'm protected by the mighty No Agenda shield of truth. As an expression of my gratitude, please accept this. This is the way all publishers talk, by the way. Really? If you ever go visit one, they talk like this.
So they're pompous?
They talk like this. Please accept this humble donation of $242.12, which I believe should take me to the level of dame.
Oh.
Is she on the list?
I don't believe so.
We'll put her on.
Okay, what if it's wrong?
No, it'll be fine.
She's premature credamination.
Well, okay, well, she'll make it up.
Okay, Rosalind.
Instead, I like to be. Wait a minute. There's an instead. Instead, I would like to bestow this great accolade upon my old friend and best person, Jihadi Jim. And it was he who first hit me in the mouth. It would also make a stellar gift for his 42nd birthday. Is he on the birthday list?
Hold on, Jihadi Jim. This is not okay.
He's on the birthday list, and he's becoming a knight.
I do not see him on the birthday list either.
Okay, well, there's a flaw there.
What's his?
He's just Jihadi Jim.
Yeah,
because he was first hit me in the mouth to make a stellar gift for his 42nd birthday on 12th of July. When I suppose he will become, which is today, become the answers to life, the universe, and everything, whatever the case. She says, he may be too busy living out John's dream as a shape-shifting Hong Kong playboy to have any time for me, but I still love and miss him dearly. However, since he hasn't donated a single hunky all the time I have been listening to the show, could you please pronunciate him Sir Jihadi Jim, the grand douchebag of Hong Kong.
Hold on. Sir Jihadi Jim, the what?
The grand douchebag of Hong Kong side.
Nice.
I'm pretty certain he would appreciate some Shibari, the Fat Rooster craft beer, at the No Agenda Roundtable. Lastly, if it's not too much to ask, can I please take for myself a shot of that everlasting No Agenda Karma, 2 to the head, shut up slave Italian style. Grazie mille. Wishing you both, as always, an extremely an exceedingly fine time in the morning.
Okay.
Lady Yellow Rose of Kent.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Shut up, slave. Stai zitto, schiavo.
You've got karma.
All right. I just need to. What did he add to the round table? What was the product he would like to consume?
Shibari.
Shibari
or Shibari, I think.
Shibari beer,
and Fat Rooster craft beer,
craft beer. Okay, good, got it.
Yeah, Fat Rooster craft beer.
Yeah,
not Rooster Craft. Yeah,
Rooster craft beer.
Right?
Or is it Fat Rooster craft beer?
It would be Fat Rooster craft beer.
Craft beer. Hi. Did you just walk away? Just like you dropped the mic and walked out?
Oh, I dropped the mic.
Craft beer. Drop the mic.
Craft beer. Sir D.H. Slammer came with $200.33, and I have a note. That's why I walked away.
Gotcha.
Enclosed fine $233, which is more than enough to achieve Baron. He's got his numbers, which would actually make him a baronet.
Yep, baronet. Got it on the list.
I'm not entirely clear on how the peerage works. Well, it's Dvorak.org/peerage.htm or .html or peerage. It might be just peerage.
.htm.
You do it.
Are you running that on Windows 95, that server, that Dvorak.org, with your .htm?
I use .htm once in a while. Yeah. It reminds me of the good old days.
That's pathetic.
Why?
Do you have like blink tags? And red ball.gif.
No, I like the cat chasing the thing across the screen.
Most ham radio guys have websites like that. Pretty sad.
That would be me.
Exactly. All right, onward.
Let's go to the letter. He wants the protectorate of the Central Coast, Ventura to Santa Cruz, and he wants a combination moving and job karma.
Wait a minute, but you don't get a protectorate until you're Baron, isn't it?
I believe that's true.
Okay.
Baron is 3x knight, so he's 2x, I think.
Yeah, so he doesn't.
And I guess unless he's already 2x knight, and he's just giving me a total for another 1,000.
It's probably.
It could be because he's been giving us money forever.
I'll say.
All right, we'll make him Baron of that area.
And he's a Baron of what? The Baron of
the Central California coast.
Central California coast. He's in the chat room saying, "I'm 3 times knight.
Okay,
I will stick you with my sword."
And he wants a moving karma and job karma because they're relocating to the Pacific Northwest. Good luck.
All right, here you go.
You've got karma.
Onward.
Yeah. GeoCities. Nice.
You know, the entire GeoCity, the entire collection of GeoCity stuff is available online.
Yeah.
One file.
Oh, like a zip? Is it a .htm file?
No, it's just like some zipped file.
Who saved that?
Somebody. It's floating around because there's every once in a while you go and you do some search and you find, or you don't anymore. But a couple of years back you would.
Used to.
You do a search for everything I wanted to know about a boron and how the atom works. And then it's some old GeoCity site. Some old engineer put up some site. You can't get there anymore, but their sites are still downloadable somewhere. Somebody's got them. You look around. Okay, let's go to Stuart Rushing, $200 from Corvallis, Oregon. I have a note right here. Proves it by making noise.
Yep.
He says, in the morning, you two have really been rocking lately. We've been rocking.
Yeah.
Thanks for the continuing analysis and insights you have provided, as well as, by the way, he's using a handwriting font.
Oh, Kind of cheating.
So it's kind of
Kind of cheating.
You have provided, as well as the book referrals. I read Economic Hitman Confessions of, and immediately sent 4 copies to family members. It explained a lot what was going on when I was growing up and starting a family. I'm almost done with Potshards.
Oh, nice.
Reading these 2 books has made me realize how lazy I've been over the past decade or 2 when it comes to keeping my mind sharp and being aware of what is really going on. Too much focus on income and not enough on what is important in life. Your continuing discussions of climate change reminded me of early science classes in grade school, 4th or 5th grade, as I recall. Anyway, I remember learning about the Earth's hydrological cycle, also known as the water cycle. A primary point concerned water evaporating and creating clouds, which then rained back and on the Earth and made its way to the lakes, oceans.
Shut up. No, that can't be true. Don't you believe in science?
This raised the following question in my mind. If the Earth is warming up so much, where are all the clouds? Anyway, here's another $200 in my effort to keep you 2 in the studio and on the air. Please send me a little job, Carmen, to my brother, Brett, whose company in San Diego just shut its doors. Oh, and one last thing. I totally agree with Adam about the Donald. He will really make for some entertaining politicking. Regards, Sir Stu, Knight of the 10 CFR 50 Appendix B.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You've got karma.
Yeah, nice. I want to talk about my friend Donald later.
And then last, but not least, of course, is Sir Timnonymous.
Yeah.
Dropped $200 from parts unknown. I have no idea where they came from.
Hey, what was you sent me?
So that's for pretty much all we got. Now, that's for 3 shows, so that's not really a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't think so.
It's 3 shows. Yeah.
Yeah, but people, it was July 4th. We always suck on July 4th when getting support. I have to say.
It's not a good day.
So you're saying about the
it's not a good day for us. No,
Dvorak.org/NA. That'll help.
Yeah, we have to wrap this up. There was some jingle I had to keep. The 7415. Is that for later?
741. I don't know. I forgot.
That's the total extent of the pre-production.
Oh yeah, but that's for later because what's happened. We're going to do the tally for the Canada.
Oh yes, okay, I got it. I know what you're talking about. I got it. Okay, before we move on, I want to mention a quick PR mention from this is Sir Ramsey Kane. Yeah, sure.
About so I'm watching television and they did a special on. I should have clipped this. Damn it. There was a Today Show, one of these shows. They have all these old people, and some guy who's 105, got married to his longtime girlfriend who's 93.
Oh, he's tapping that, huh?
And so they interview him after in the afternoon, and they go, "I'm so happy to be married," and she's going on and on about it, and she says, "What do you think about this?" And the old guy says, "When did I get married?"
No. That was live?
It was serious. I'm telling you, the guy was not like a joker.
oh man. Sir Ramsey Kane, in the morning. Hope everyone had a well-deserved break this last week. I'm going to DEF CON again this year. We'll be having another No Agenda meetup. Details will be on noagendacd.com. I don't have a date, time, or place chosen yet, as I need some feedback from potential attendees. If anyone wants to join me, please have them contact me via noagendacd@gmail.com or noagendacd on the tweeters. And he says, we will try to be a little more organized this year. Well, you're off to a good start. We have nothing.
It's a little bit organized. have us mention it.
We have nothing. And please help us out. All right. Hail Apple, Sir Ramsey Kane. And there you go. So, yes, we will have another show, of course, coming up on Thursday. I will be doing that one here from Rotterdam as well before I eventually return to home base. And I'm kind of getting ready to go home.
Dvorak.org/NA. Of
course, you can always help us out by doing the very important work of going out there and propagating our formula.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Don't forget your roll of quarters.
Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave.
There we go. Yeah.
Did you notice that Ramsey Kane does this great job of putting together these discs of clips and segments, show segments, and he did a whole show for us once.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the guy who's doing clip of the day on Twitter, he does a pretty good job. I think he's doing too many clips of the day.
Yeah.
But at least
there's two guys. There's one guy on Twitter, and he's gone back through all the episodes and gives us the clip of the day from the episodes. And there's another guy who's doing famous No Agenda quotes from going back to episode.
Yeah, I haven't seen the No Agenda quotes guy.
Well, they're usually my quotes.
Oh, that's probably why. But the clip of the day, guys, has got. So look around on Twitter.
That's pretty cool.
I think just clip of the day is the name of this the account.
So I came to the realization, as you know, I've been following as much as I could. I'm obviously looking at a lot of European news, and I'm just, by the way, as I see this on Sunday the 12th, still no deal on Greece, and there's Jernoon Jizzlebloom. Anyway, so it's still not happening. Donald Trump.
The Donald.
I figured it out.
Okay.
It took me a little while.
Figured out. Wait. What was the question that you figured out?
Well, it wasn't. There was no question. Just all of a sudden, it hit me.
Oh, you figured out the meta of Donald Trump. Yes.
Donald Trump is producing a reality show, and we're in the middle of it right now. This whole thing has got to be run by Mark Burnett. Everything is so perfectly orchestrated. It's beautiful. I mean, this is top quality, top notch entertainment, and I don't put it past him. Maybe not, truly a reality show, but he is controlling a lot of what's going on, and he's good at it.
What, Trump?
Yeah. Oh, I'm loving what he's doing.
I think, this is an interesting idea because it's possible that he's just making a fool out of everybody.
Well, I have a couple of things to play.
So what we're seeing is a reality show that doesn't have, so we're seeing the next generation reality show, which is more like performance art.
Yes.
It's
totally
space.
Performance art. Yes.
In free space.
Yes. And what I figured it out with this thing about the way this has been sculpted, what he said about Mexican immigrants. So, everyone's firing him and all. And this is all not even completely true. He always said if he was going to run for president, then he would stop doing the NBC show, the You're Fired show, whatever, Celebrity You're Fired.
What he said.
Yeah.
And he's done it for 14, 12 years, something like that.
So it is so well orchestrated. It makes so much sense to me. And then when you see CNN, they put a montage together. Ultimately, I'm going to get to what he actually said, because it's interesting to hear, just to see the deconstruction that we can put in place of what the media has made this Trump quote and then what he really said. So we're going in reverse order. It's kind of like it's a gambit. It's a gambit. So here, this is CNN on they're playing this as a vignette in between stories, and they also have it on their website.
Our country is in serious trouble. China. I beat China all the time. When did we beat Japan at anything? The U.S. has become a dumping ground for everybody else's problems. Mexico, lots of problems. Drugs, crime, rapists. I speak to border guards. The Middle East, Islamic terrorism, they become rich. I'm in competition with them. They just built a hotel. They took the oil. ISIS has the oil. I love the military, and I want to have the strongest military. Iran is now taking over Iraq. China has our jobs. Mexico has our jobs. Our enemies are getting stronger and stronger by the...
Do you see what they're trying to do? They're trying to do what our producers actually can do very well, and put together someone's nutty-ass words and make it into something entertaining.
Well, hold on a second. This is from CNN.
CNN. This is produced from CNN. This entire thing.
Why?
Well, it's because it's a part of the show.
Well, yeah, I get that, but this seems so out of place for CNN to actually produce something that, has some.
Hold on a second.
Music.
They have this entire new division, which is creating content, what we would call native advertising. For people who are paying them to create content. I would say this is from some super PAC who said, make something really shitty about Donald. I think it's from Donald Trump himself. Yeah, cut that shit up. This is be funny. And people will start hating me. Keep it going. Keep it going.
The problem is when you listen to it and it's got that beat.
It's stupid.
It's almost hypnotic. It's almost, it's like you become Donald Trump.
Yeah, but then in the crazy version, the version you're supposed to believe in. What he's saying, just crazy stuff.
Today, we have a disaster called the big lie, Obamacare. Deductibles are so high, it's virtually useless. Politicians are all talk, no action. I'm meeting with 3 of them in the next week. We need a leader that wrote The Art of the Deal.
All of this is edited. It's all different pieces to make him sound just completely
I understand
stupid.
that. We've heard all these various things here and there.
All right. So that is...
I'm liking it.
Yeah, of course. That's the whole point in this reality show. You got to have that.
But the CNN want me to like it, though. They try to. It's not a good in terms of like just ridiculing the guy. If you want to just ridicule the guy, I could do a better job of that. I don't see this as being a very negative piece. It actually makes him sound. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, politicians are liars. Yeah, I knew that.
I think it loses. I think it loses something without the visuals. For instance, we said, when did World War? When did we beat Japan at anything? And they flashed World War II ?
Oh, I
on
see.
the
They're
screen.
ridiculing him with counter messaging.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Now I'm in.
And then it says Art of the Deal, and then it flashes available now on Amazon.com. So so you kind of
so they're counter messaging him visually only.
Yeah.
So if this thing's taken out of context, all you hear is his messages. You don't get the jokes.
But this is something that I hadn't considered. Take away the visuals, and then
this is your theory about acting.
Mm-hmm. What is that? Don't marry an actress?
No, that's my theory.
What's my theory?
Your theory about acting is that when you just listen to them act as opposed to watching them act, it's a whole different experience.
Yes.
And most actors, especially the TV actors, can't act, and you can only tell when you just listen.
So because we're only hearing this, and your response was very different, I'm thinking, why is John not getting this? And of course, I had seen the video. But what message do people who see and hear this really retain? Do they retain what Trump is saying, and they're just distracted by the visuals? Ha ha ha, that's funny. So maybe
that's the question. Isn't it?
Maybe this really is a pro-Trump piece. Because it works so well on the psyche, it gets these little nuggets into your brain that the hypnotic music is put in there while you're distracted with humor, which is the best way to put information into people's heads when they're laughing.
This could be a pro-Trump piece. Your original thesis may be mistaken.
Let's listen to another. No, this is where they're taking his comments about immigration out of context. Because if you ask anyone today on the street, what is Donald Trump? They'll say, he said all Mexicans illegal
rapists and murderers.
Illegal aliens are rapists and murderers. That's what people believe he said. And it comes from pieces like this.
Donald Trump's White House bid is putting a dent in his wallet.
How much has this cost you? I mean,
a lot. Oh, it cost me a lot.
Trump acknowledging the financial fallout from his controversial comments about illegal immigrants coming from Mexico.
They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
Now, that is really journalistically so wrong when you hear what he really said. I just have to replay that sequence again because it's really incredible. The CNN voiceover says something and they just stick a piece of his words behind it. It's really out of context.
In his wallet.
How much has this cost you? I mean,
a lot. Oh, it cost me a lot.
Trump acknowledging the financial fallout from his controversial comments about illegal immigrants coming from Mexico.
They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people.
Since those remarks, many of Trump's business partners have cut ties with the outspoken billionaire.
Well, don't have to listen to all that. So now let's listen to what he actually said. And it was in the context of the United States, America, getting the pants beat off of us in any kind of trade anywhere.
When did we beat Japan at anything? They send their cars over by the millions. And what do? When was the last time you saw a Chevrolet in Tokyo? It doesn't exist, folks.
I love him. This is great.
They beat us all the time. When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us, at our stupidity. And now they're beating us economically. They are not our friend, believe me. But they're killing us economically. The U.S. has become a dumping ground for everybody else's problems. Thank you. Woo! It's true. And these are the best and the finest. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
So that's a little different than what it's being made out to be.
Well, when he first gave that speech, which we did play before, they were just they immediately cherry picked. I mean, everybody in the media has decided that Trump is a clown. They don't like the guy. No. And he's a blowhard. He's no doubt. I mean, he is a blowhard. I think there's no question about that.
Of course.
And he's a different style of personality than they're used to dealing with. And he berates anyone who's opposes him and the media in general. And he has this he's relentless. I mean, he did it with Rosie O'Donnell and all these people that, they say anything bad about him and he just goes nuts. I think the guy is incredibly entertaining, and I think he's more of a threat as a candidate than people want to believe. They just completely marginalize him. They don't want to take him seriously at all.
Yes,
if he gets up on the podium in the debates, I mean, he's got the Rick Perry possibility of making some stupid gaffe.
I don't think. I think he's indestructible.
Well.
I think he's indestructible. He can make any gaffe he wants, but he typically doesn't. He's really good at this. And he announced officially, I guess. I still don't know what that means, but maybe this time it's for real. They're really calling his bluff.
Announce officially, what that means is that you now have to obey certain laws.
Right, but has he filed the paperwork, or did he just say?
As far as I know, he's totally in.
Okay, good. This is
got the Republican mainstream freaked out.
Yeah, but people love him.
Even you said this before. There's no two parties. It's just two versions of the same bunch of assholes.
Yeah,
and they are going at the Democrats seem to be going after him harder than the Republicans, and the Republicans know what to do, and the Democrats are going after him big time, as though they're trying to protect the Republican Party.
Oh, and then of course in that case we need to listen to my friend. From MSNBC?
Oh, no.
Chris Matthews.
I think he has a lot of information on everybody. He's ready to go after a guy like Charles Krauthammer with tremendous information. I mean, he's already done the oppo with every journalist around, so it's like he's ready with the worst stuff, to throw at you. It's almost like you used to read about in the days of Baghdad under Hussein, where you didn't want to be in a restaurant with one of his kids, Uday or Qusay, because they might make eye contact with you, and you make eye contact with their girlfriend at the time, and you're dead the next day. So, I mean, it's going to be dangerous territory out on that stage.
Saddam Hussein.
That's guilt. That's an associative reference, which we talk about a lot in this show.
Very well done.
You're talking about one person, then you start talking about Hitler.
Yeah. But Saddam Hussein is good.
The extreme version of this idea.
It's really good. I like it. That's fantastic.
It's really beneath Chris Matthews.
Yeah. Well. Donald Trump is going to be incredibly entertaining, and he's one election cycle too early, according to your theory, which I buy into. That we have to have it would be great to have a female Democrat for one term, and then we have a Ronald Reagan type Republican. That's the cycle?
Yeah, that's exactly what's supposed to happen. So in 2016, we're getting a female Democrat, which is either going to be Hillary with the backup. Now I'm convinced that Warren was always brought in as the backup. That's why she got a high profile all of a sudden and wrote that book. She wasn't going to run head to head with Hillary.
No.
She's the backup. She's the backup. Hillary goes down in flames somewhere along the line between now and November 2016.
Well, Hillary is already
Warren walks right in.
Hillary is already putting out subliminal messaging. Now my theory that, well, we both have the same theory except different timing, that Bill is going to have to go. He's going to have to die. That's what she would want for the sympathy vote, timed perfectly.
Yeah,
and
this is we've maintained this theory for
and we don't want anyone to die, but
4 years at least.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, we don't want anybody to die, but
it's just logical thinking. All we're doing is we're not trying to be sick about this. we're making a logical. We're looking at these people and we're saying, what logically would they do if they're the horrible people that we think they are?
What would horrible Hillary Clinton do? Exactly.
Yeah, what would horrible Hillary do?
So now the theory is that he would die, but it would be launched as from the Secret Service. Probably it would be launched as kind of the unofficial story that he died in the saddle.
That was my thinking.
Yes, exactly. On top of a hooker.
Yeah, I don't know if that's my thinking. I think that's kind of a humorous, wishful thinking. I think maybe wishful thinking, but yeah, that'd be great.
Well, I think Hillary she's messaging this, and she's not talking about just some 2-bit whore. No, she's thinking high-end escort, and it's all. I saw this interview. I'm like, oh my God, she is just telling us what's going to happen and that it's going to be a high-class hooker.
Have you given any thought to the woman who should be on the $10 bill?
I am very torn about it. I want a woman on a bill. I don't know why they picked the $10 bill. Some people are now agitating for the $20 bill.
Do you think that should be the 20?
I want a woman on the bill, and I think that it might be easier to change the 20 than it is to change the 10, but we'll see. And I don't like the idea that as a compromise, you would basically have 2 people on the same bill. One would be a woman. That sounds pretty second class to me. So I think a woman should have her own bill, and it may be more appropriate to look at the 20 than the 10. I don't know. We'll see.
High-end hooker on the bill.
Okay, you get clip of the day too. That is unbelievably funny.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Clip of the day.
Show title.
The great story here.
Sorry. There you go. Isn't that crazy?
Where did you get that?
She did the big interview with who did she do it with? She did one interview. Maybe it was CNN, I guess. I think she did a big interview with CNN. And it's just like on the bill. I want a woman on the bill. No, not some 10. But maybe it'll be. I don't like shared because she doesn't want to be. She doesn't like the idea that he would be in like a bisexual threesome. I don't want 2 people on the bill. No. Especially not a man and a woman. She says it.
Wow. I think your interpretation of it's wild too.
I heard that. I'm like,
but there was still no death. Well, the people on the bill is always whoever's on the bill is dead, so there's some death involved. But
yeah,
okay. Well, we'll stick with this. We still got over a year. Bill looks like crap. They made him to look. He's like he just doesn't look good. So any of this is possible.
Yeah, it's problematic.
But I still think she's going to have trouble getting to the end of this, and that's why Elizabeth's ready to go. She'll just move right into that spot. She'll have less baggage. They like her. Actually, if it comes down to it, if they were given a choice, the women and we've had plenty of examples of this. We've shown them on the show forever, where the progressives and the female Democrats like Warren better than they like Hillary.
Right.
And I believe that, and she'll be sitting there. She was ready to go. She'll be ready to go. Vice president's going to be a little harder to call.
Do you think she really doesn't know that she is just running herself into the ground? That Hillary Clinton?
Hillary?
Is she so convinced of herself that she's invincible and she can do it?
I'm mixed about this. I feel that she either knows what she's doing and she doesn't really want to run, and she's going to hand it off to Warren no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just going to score a shitload of money and maybe kill Bill.
Put some woman on the bill, not just on the 10, on a 20. High class hooker. Hey, no bisexual threesomes.
Yeah, that's an interesting clip.
Mm-hmm. The truth always wants to get out. Now, did you read this article, which was and I saw it in the paper version, even in the Daily Mail, about the mini ice age coming in
isn't that great?
2030?
Yeah. Apparently the sun shuts down every few hundred years for like a decade.
Yeah.
And it creates a mini ice age.
And this is what happened when the Thames froze over in 1645.
Yeah. There was a mini ice age going on.
Yeah. So we're due for one. And is this credible? Have you
Yeah, I think it's credible, and I think it can happen. I think that's why there's this big rush.
The Maunder minimum.
I think that the global warmists, they are rushing. They're running around. Oh, it's the last day. We got to point of no return. We got to do this. We got to do that. They've got to get some things. I think they may have enough already, but they have to have enough things in place where they can take credit for the mini ice age.
Right, so it'll reverse. Right.
Oh, just in time. Yeah, we went overboard a little bit, but it was better than the other thing that could have happened.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think that might be in play.
Huh.
Oh, we dodged a bullet.
Climate change is real.
It's real. It's real. It's real.
All right. Then from the Agenda 21, actually, we should probably play the Climate Gate jingle. We haven't heard that one in a while.
To the gate, to the gate, to the Climate Gate.
Very nice. Here is, man, my throat. Gina McCarthy, and she is the director of the Environmental Protection Agency here in the United States of Gitmo Nation proper, and she's being grilled by Rohrabacher. Now, he's a hard ass.
I watched this hearing, and they were just throwing it at her.
Now, I want to help you.
Doing a good job of like, oh, whatever.
She's easy to
not
trick.
as bad as Lisa Jackson, who would always be there with her chin on her hand, just like, you guys bore me.
Yeah, she was arrogant.
Now she's at Apple.
Yeah, and she's still arrogant. It was the Apple Watch, probably her idea. They should blame it on her and fire her.
Okay, if we're going to do tech news.
No, we're not doing tech news. No, we're not. No. We'll do that in a minute. I want to go to Gina McCarthy from Boston. And I think no one knows the answer to this question. I think they're going about it all wrong. But either way, it was fun.
Freedom, responsibility, openness of government, etc. Let me ask you, what percentage of the atmosphere is CO2?
What percentage of the atmosphere is CO2?
Can you say the word in a sentence, please? What percentage is CO2? She's like, wow, she's in trouble from the get-go on that one.
Freedom, responsibility, openness of government, etc. Let me ask you, what percentage of the atmosphere is CO2?
What percentage of the atmosphere is CO2? I don't.
Okay, chat room says he was supposed to say, okay, Google first to get the answer.
I don't have that calculation for you, sir.
Maybe you could tell us what your personal guess is on what percentage of CO2.
Guess?
I don't make those guesses, sir.
Bummer.
You're the head of the EPA and you don't know. You have all of these laws based on, you're going to get your staffer to tell you now.
You can see this.
You're the head of the EPA and you did not know what percent, and now you are facing policies that impact dramatically on the American people, and you didn't even know what the content of CO2 in the atmosphere was, which is the justification for the very policies you're talking about.
Now, before we go on.
Wow.
Yeah, this is incredible. So it's 440 parts per million. Shouldn't we be able to, with our Common Core math, shouldn't we be able to figure out what the percentage is? You and I, like together?
Probably.
I'd like to understand. So if let's just say 500.
I don't believe that's the number.
Well, it's 400 parts per million because we went through the 350.
Because the 360 guys went.
The
360 guys wanted to
350 guys.
350.
But they're 360 now. Okay, the 360 guys.
360. I was 360. 360, no?
No, but it is now. The 360 guys. We're going to email. It's 350, you dorks. Yeah, we got it. 360 guys. The 360 guys. And now it's 400, but I think it's 450. Let's just say 500 just to make it easy for the math. 500 parts per million. So how many percent is that then of 100%?
Well,
shouldn't we be able to figure this out?
500 parts.
Okay, I've got it. Should be 0.
Yeah, you can't figure it out, but you need a pen and a paper because you got to move your.
Don't you have your abacus? 0. It's 0.0005. No, it's 0.0005, I think. Listen to he has the math. I just don't know if it's correct.
No, that
thank you.
If you're asking me how much CO2 is in the atmosphere, not a percentage, but how much, we have just reached levels of 400 parts per million.
I think I was very clear what I was asking. I was very clear.
Shut up, bitch.
No. Let me ask you if CO2,
yeah, you're right. It would be 0.05 based on 500 parts.
0.05.
Yeah.
0.05.
Moving your zeros around, you can get to that number.
Right.
And is only 1/10 of 1% of the atmosphere.
1/2 of 1/10 of 1%. Is that 0.05?
Sounds right.
And you believe that this minimal, tiny element, and by the way, only 10% of that, from what I understand, is actually man-made. And, of course, whatever you're suggesting and is being suggested as the basis
too much logic
creating these what we consider
0.5%. That is 0.0005
draconian controls is that 1/10 that is man-made of the 1/2 of 1/10 of 1/2 of 1% that will have an impact on the weather to the point that it will actually impact people's health.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Dingo, boom, boom, chakalaka, boom, 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 chakalaka, boom, boom.
That was awesome. That was really good. Oh, I don't know. 4 parts per million something.
I'm just a bureaucrat.
I don't know.
Logic, don't get it.
And did you hear Michelle Obama to the indigenous peoples of America? And there's been a big Facebook thing about they're bringing in American Indians, Native Americans, I should say. I'll probably be politically correct. And they have so you want to kick illegal immigrants out, and you see a picture of some Native American with a feather headdress and everything, and he says, "Oh, when are you guys gonna leave?" Like, okay, I get it. We're really the illegal immigrants. Okay.
Now, long before the United States was even an idea, your ancestors were harvesting the crops that would feed the world for centuries to come.
And she's talking to the Indian youth, actually. Native American youth.
And places like Seattle and Michigan and natural wonders like Niagara Falls and Yosemite can only be named using your native languages. Your artwork has inspired generations of artists.
Yeah, thanks for Kanye.
Your healing techniques have spurred great medical advances and saved countless lives. One of your early democratic institutions, the Iroquois Confederacy, served as a model for the United States government.
What? Is that true? I thought the French, that French guy's book.
There's probably some truth to that. I don't know. Offhand, I mean, they did have a government. The Iroquois they were a very advanced group, and it's possible we stole some of their ideas. It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me either when you hear the next claim.
And today, on issues like conservation and climate change, we are finally beginning to embrace the wisdom of your ancestors.
Wow, man, how come we didn't listen?
This reminds me of one of my favorite. So I'm hanging out with some guys I'm in Washington State, and I decide that I want to go check out the upper left-hand corner of the country.
Mm-hmm. What is it called?
Of Washington State.
What's it called?
It's the corner of Washington State.
It's called the corner of Washington State. It doesn't have a name.
Oh, what it's called? There's no name for it, but it's on the Indian reservation. And so you have to go through this huge Indian reservation to get to the corner, and then when you get, it's no real road. I don't know why they don't make this a tourist attraction. There's no. Well, now I do know why. There's no real road, so you got to take it. You get to the pretty much in the middle of nowhere, and then you have to drive on a dirt road, and then you can get to the very upper left-hand corner of the United States, continental United States, and you can see. You can be there. You can be at that spot. It's just a spot I wanted to check out.
Okay, so we get it. We get it. You're obsessive compulsive. You're a strange man. You wanted to see
way
it.
Up
I have to go to the corner.
Like on a cliff, and you're overlooking this cliff, and you look over the cliff, and you look down, and it's apparently I guess a general Indian dumping ground. And there's old washing machines, derelict cars, dryers, television sets.
Really?
These Indians
swings.
were, freaky about conservation.
Broken roulette wheels.
Trucks. That's why there's a road there. They drive these trucks to the edge.
Dump
of the
shit off
country
the cliff?
Dump crap.
Wow.
Inside.
Do they think
the piles are massive?
Well, that is a fine solution to climate change.
Well, if nothing else, it gets rid of some of these things, and maybe they wash over to Japan. I don't know.
Hey, you're a little low on volume. Hey, come back to the mic, man. You're very low on volume.
Oh, I'm right on the mic.
Oh, then crank it up. Something's happening.
No.
Yeah,
there's nothing I can crank up. I have it. Well, maybe I can.
You weren't even punching through the noise gate there for a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
If I turn it up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But that's not where it belongs. But anyway, did you hear the story?
Yeah, no, I heard the story.
Through?
Yeah, story came through.
Okay.
I was laughing. We liked it.
But I don't want to demean the local Indians up there.
No, that's not a good policy.
No, they sell the firecrackers, which have now been banned, so I guess they're out of business.
Oh, man.
They do have these. What's cool when you go, everyone should visit up there. This area, and I can't remember the name of the Indian tribe, but it's this huge reservation. Mm-hmm. They have a longhouse there that you can go visit. It's kind of cool. Longhouses are these big meeting places, and they also used to live in them, I guess. Mm-hmm. But in this particular area, there are probably thousands of bald eagles.
Oh, and you saw them?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
They're all over the place. They're a pest.
Our national bird.
Anybody who has been around bald eagles would say the same thing.
They're a pest.
They're a pest. They kill kittens. They grab kittens, little puppies. They're always on the lookout for
not little puppies. We should have a.
They are.
In the morning to you, troubled citizen. I didn't know this about the eagles.
Oh, they're a horrible animal.
You're defacing our national bird. Myth busting. Okay. Well, I'm very sad.
Horrible animal.
Horrible animal. Just say no.
Horrible animal. What can I say?
But the eagle, the bald eagle, the golden bald eagle is that's the
golden eagle's a different animal.
Oh, okay. And they're okay.
I have a golden eagle. Well, the bald eagle is the one that's the real pest. The golden eagles are a little bit. I had a golden eagle.
But an eagle is freedom, John. How can freedom be a pest?
A golden eagle is I'm in range of one of it. The golden eagles have like a 500-mile or 50-mile range where they hunt, and they come around every once in a while. So I have a golden eagle that comes around once in a while.
Yeah,
so I'm coming home
for PG tips.
So I'm coming home. And I go and I hear something in the backyard. I go up to the door, and there's a bunch of seagull feathers all over the deck.
Uh-oh.
And what the hell are these seagull feathers doing here? And so I start to step outside, and there's a golden eagle sitting in the plum tree. He had eaten an entire seagull.
Wow.
Yeah. These eagles are something to.
What does the?
So he ate the seagull and he left just a bunch of crap all over the place. It was a mess.
What does the eagle not eat of the seagull? What does he leave behind? The beak?
Oh, they eat rodents, a lot of rodents, and puppies.
He ate the whole thing, everything.
Yeah. I couldn't find anything but a few feathers.
Wow, I had no idea.
He's sitting there and he's digesting this thing because he just finished filling himself with this big seagull, which is a good sized bird. Yeah. And he looks at me, gives me a look. I've had an eagle do this too. He looks at me and he goes, "What do you want?"
I love bugs.
So I slowly stepped backwards back into the house, keeping an eye on him, and closed the door. Took a couple pictures through the window. Oh. He just was not going to be bothered by somebody that's going to interrupt his digestion.
Can you put these in the newsletter?
If I can find them.
Yeah. Do you have a door open or something?
No. Is the noise gate not working, or am I too loud? I got the thing all cranked up.
No, I don't know. Now I hear all kinds of background noise.
No, nothing's changed.
Yeah. Is a fan on or something? It sounds like, it's the computer fan, right?
I think the computer fan's going crazy because it's warm in here.
Okay.
Sorry. Well, that's my Eagle story.
Yeah, well, it's a good story. I'm sad to hear this, that our national symbol of freedom is a pest.
Oh, the worst.
A kitten-eating pest.
He is a kitten eater.
This is very,
you like kittens, you won't like eagles.
It's very disturbing. Very, very disturbing.
No, there's a parent. Mimi got to see one of these. These eagles are around the house, too. They're not too. We have a lot of crows, and they chase the eagles off, so that's a good thing. Because the crows, we feed chickens, and so the crows like to eat the chicken feed. And so they will roust any bird that's around there because they think they're going to eat the chicken feed. Or if the chickens get, this is the logic of a crow. Crows are very smart. The crows figure that if the chickens get caught and eaten by an eagle or any sort of prey bird, they won't get the chicken feed. They can do that much logic.
Oh.
And because no chickens, no feed.
Oh, so they chase off the eagles.
So a bunch of these crows will go after any bird that's in the area that may be threatening the chicken, and they also go after small animals that threaten the chickens because the food dries up. But Mimi says that she saw a bald eagle flying, and she saw it close enough that it was carrying a small kitten.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah, she said it was pathetic.
I feel really crappy now about being an American.
Well, no, it's just the eagle. That's got nothing to do with being an American. It's just a symbol.
It's my symbol of freedom.
It's a symbol of kitten eating.
Yeah. Insert your own joke here. Yeah, I know. It was a good one. Got a note from Brian the Gay Crusader. I'm planning a trip to Chicago. I'm looking forward to meeting this guy.
Okay.
And Brian the Gay Crusader, who has written he wrote the white paper on why Russia's anti-gay promotion law is really nothing more than a way to soak Hollywood. And that's about it. I mean, there's no great hate of gays in Russia. No more or less than, I don't know, America, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia. There's a little worse in other places. And then all of a sudden we get this report. And actually, I looked around for a report because Brian had picked up on the meme that was out there. And this, of course, is a continuation on making Russia, and in particular, look like a dog-hating, toilet with no bowl building, gay hating creep.
Just a week after the U.S. Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage across America, a historic triumph for the gay rights movement, it seems Russia won't be joining in the celebrations. President Putin's ruling party has unveiled a straight flag in a bid to combat what it calls gay fever.
The straight flag, John. The straight flag. To combat the gay fever.
I gotta look this up.
Yeah, wait, you'll see the flag. Russia's straight flag.
The celebrations. President Putin's ruling party has unveiled a straight flag in a bid to combat what it calls gay fever. The group used the country's annual Day of Family Love and Fidelity, the Russian equivalent of Valentine's Day, to unveil the flag.
Why don't they just have Valentine's Day? I didn't know about it. They have a special Valentine's Day in Russia.
Depicting a father, mother, and 3 children, it contains the hashtag Real Families.
Ooh.
Moscow's United Russia branch says it honors the nuclear family and traditional Russian values. Despite earlier claiming the flag aims to counter the LGBT rainbow version, the deputy head says it is in no way offensive.
We aren't saying there is no confrontation here. We are speaking of the traditional family. You can see there are a lot of children here, many elderly, young people, people on bicycles and rollerblades. We mean the average standard Russian family that is ours, as you see illustrated in the logo. Mother, father, and 3 children.
Last week, Russian media reported officials were campaigning to ban the use of the rainbow flag, including on social media. Rights groups continue to accuse Russian authorities of being hostile to public expressions of support for gay rights.
All right, so the message is, of course, Putin, certainly Putin's party, hates fags. It's the hate fags flags, the straight flag. Have you found the straight flag on the Google?
Yeah, it's just, it looks more like a poster they put up for some celebration of some sort.
Well, Brian the Gay Crusader did the research. He says this flag was quite visible at the Day of Family, Love, and Fidelity, which is an annual countrywide celebration held on July 8th. and many Russian producers who we have will correct us if that's not true, or if there's a nuance. The flag was not unveiled as a thing for all of Russia. Rather, they were made by the Moscow branch of the United Russia Party, not the National Party, but a local chapter of the party. And this flag was not designed by a Russian. It was designed by, its roots are the Manif pour tout, an anti-same-sex marriage group in France. And you can see, if you do a Google image search, you can see this thing everywhere. So this is complete. And the guy they interviewed.
So they're smearing Russia again.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you know the reason why?
Snowden.
It all dates back to Snowden.
Yep.
None of this was going on. There wasn't any of this anti-Russian stuff until Snowden. Once they took Snowden in and they didn't obey us when we told them we want Snowden, that began it all. This is the trouble you get into when you defy the United States.
So I know you have a couple of Dunford clips. I'm going to play a very, very short one just in this context, and I want to sag into your clips.
What would you consider the greatest threat to our national security?
And Dunford is Lieutenant General Joseph Dunford?
I think he's full general, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got 4 stars.
Well, he's a superly recognized general. He's respected.
Yeah, he's a Marine.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is noteworthy.
Today, Senator, is that Russia presents the greatest threat to our national security. So if you want to talk about a nation that could pose an existential threat to the United States, I'd have to point to Russia. And if you look at their behavior, it's nothing short of alarming.
So
by the way, to show you how things have changed so radically in 3 years because of Snowden, when Romney said the same thing when he was running for president,
he was
ridiculed soundly by both sides of the aisle.
Yep.
Ridiculed. He said the same thing.
That was in the debate.
Yeah.
With Obama.
And everybody ridiculed him. Oh, what an idiot.
Yep. You're right.
And that was before Snowden.
So then we have the Kirby, who was the new spokeshole of the State Department, he is such a departure from the friendly Jen and the meek little Marie. This guy is just a dick, and he's not.
Oh yeah, Kirby's no good.
He's not nice, but he also doesn't answer questions, and he refused to agree with this statement from General Dunford. He refused to say on behalf of the State Department that yes, Russia is our biggest threat.
Russia certainly represents significant security challenges to not just U.S. national interests, but to the national interests of our allies and partners in Europe. I'm not going to speak for General Dunford. I mean, a seasoned American general who is expected and is paid to offer his frank military assessment, and that's for him to speak to.
Isn't it
This is the chick from RT.
confusing that from this podium you say one thing and the top military officials say something else?
I don't know how to answer your question.
You don't seem to be saying that. You don't. Do you agree with them?
I just told you what our position here is, that we are mindful of the security challenges that Russia continues to pose on the European continent. Nobody's turning a blind eye to that. I don't speak for Defense Department equities and what
Defense Department equities?
Defense Department leaders might be saying.
Agree?
What does that mean, equities?
Well, it means stock ownership.
I don't speak on behalf of the shareholders of the Defense Department. Raytheon, Boeing. Yeah, I don't speak on their behalf. The equities.
I have no idea what he's referring to. I think he just threw the word in.
And what Defense Department leaders might be saying.
Do you agree with their position?
Maybe he said entities. Hold on. Did he say entities or equities? No, I got to listen.
You agree
sounded
with
like
them?
equities.
I just told you what our position here is, that we are mindful of the security challenges that Russia continues to pose on the European continent. Nobody's turning a blind eye to that. I don't speak for Defense Department equities
No, he said equities. I hear equities. Equities.
He may have meant entities, and he just blew it.
Yeah, because he pretty much was talking about the true shareholders who really we give our money to.
And what Defense Department leaders might be saying.
Do you agree with their position, with their statement that Russia is the greatest
I'll say it one more time.
Do you agree with that?
I'll say it one more time. I think we all agree
that
and share a same sense of concern about the security challenges that Russia represents on the continent.
But you do not agree that it is the greatest threat to U.S. national security?
I've answered the question.
No, you have not.
Yes,
is it the greatest threat to U.S. national security?
Yeah.
Shut up, slave.
Yep, that's not answering the question.
Well, if you're going to go down that line before we go any further,
okay,
I want to give you a really good example. Dunford, who seems like he will be a good replacement for the little Irish guy.
Oh, for the Joint. This was during his confirmation hearing, right? The Joint Chiefs of Staff. Yeah.
But talk about not answering a question. I'm going to play a two-parter here. This is Dunford Ayotte Ask Question 1, and then we're going to discuss that, and then I will tell you what I want you to hear, and then we're going to play Ayotte 2.
Thank you. I wanted to also ask you about the situation on cyber, because the FBI director, we've received briefings on the OPM breach, but the FBI director has said that he believes this is an enormous breach. Millions and millions of individuals who provided background information have been breached, and that Director Clapper has said that they believe it's the Chinese who have done this breach. What do you think we should be, when we look at the threats facing our nation, how grave do you think the cyber threat is? And also, how would you assess our current posture with the Chinese and how we should be addressing this situation?
Okay, now there was a couple of questions in there. One of them was we were talking about the Chinese being responsible for the breach.
Right. Okay.
And then what do you think about our situation with the Chinese, and how should we address the Chinese, and what do you think about the Chinese and all this? And now I want everyone to listen. This is the way it goes.
Wouldn't it be funny if
you're going to hear his answer, and I want you to look for the word Chinese in his answer, and then she goes on to the next question. And my question is, why did she go on to another whole different question that I cut it off right during that second question?
Our current posture with the Chinese and how we should be addressing this situation.
Senator, I would agree with you. The cyber threat is clearly very significant. And frankly, every week we learn a bit more about the OPM breach. My number one concern, obviously, as a service chief, is for the data in the well-being of the men and women whose data that is haven't been compromised. One of the challenges is, of course, attribution. But from my perspective, if confirmed, my role will be to provide the president with a full range of options to deal with these cyber attacks, which is what the OPM breach was.
So I know that Senator Manchin had asked you what you believed our gravest national security threat was, and you identified Russia.
Okay, I see the problem. He's telling the truth. How stupid. But he's actually a good guy. He's saying, look, we don't really know. I need to get the data. We don't know who we can attribute this to.
Well, he answered another question, which is a classic.
Wouldn't it have been funny
if nothing about China.
Wouldn't it be funny?
He refused to talk about China. There's not one mention of the word China or anything about China in his answer to her direct question about China.
No, because he doesn't want to agree with it because he knows that it's bullcrap.
He knows it's bullcrap.
Yeah, but it would have been funny
to go off on his own.
It would have been funny because he's a Vietnam guy, right?
I think so. Yeah,
it'd be funny if he just slipped in gooks in there. I don't know if it's the gooks.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
That would be funny. I would say
he has a thing.
Cyber slant. What?
I have one clip of him, and this is the Iran. This is bothersome in a number of ways. And I'll tell you why afterwards. But this is him on Iran and the Taliban.
I want to follow up more on that, but I also want to ask you, I saw reports that they were also engaged in supporting the Taliban in Afghanistan more now. Is there anything you can share with us on that?
Senator, I've seen those same reports, and from my perspective, what I've seen in reports is that they have provided some support to the Taliban in an effort to counter ISIL.
Yeah, Senator, I think it's the slanty-eyed cyber gooks who are responsible. Well, don't worry, ma'am. When I'm confirmed, I'll go ahead and I'll give the president a range of options to take care of that problem.
Besides your bit there, this is not likely. This is a problem. I don't know what there's some messaging going on here.
Yeah.
That it seems unlikely, and I'll tell you why. It's because the Iranians had long since told us not to deal with the Taliban because they feel the Taliban are a-holes.
Yeah.
Secondly, the Iranians also are Shia, and the Taliban are not. They're Sunni. And so there's the Taliban's got nothing to do with ISIL. As far as I can tell, this is a bullcrap meme that somebody's dropped in here.
Why are they trying to? Why are they?
I saw the report too.
Okay, hold on.
No
so
good.
that is
but there's something up with this. This is nonsense. This is negotiating for the nuke deal or something. I have no idea. But I found this to be very and she just reads from some script. Kelly Ayotte, she's part of the cabal with John McCain and.
Do you hear me at all?
The other guy.
It's been very hard for me to interrupt today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just wonder, you probably can't hear me. Skype is probably doing that.
No, well, maybe, but I can hear you.
Well, you just don't care. Okay.
I don't know that you're interrupting me. Well, I get on these rolls.
No, but I was going to interject and say, wherever we plant ISIL, we're planting them into, we're connecting them to the Taliban. We'll connect anything we want to. Because that's our control mechanism. And we can always say, we got to go and get ISIL. So we just insert it anywhere that there's a problem. That's, insert it into Palestine. ISIL's in Palestine. It'll be ISIL in Mississippi. Kentucky or Mississippi. Yeah, exactly. And as we go into break, we really have to take one. This is a long show. Tell the affiliates.
Affiliates who may be going long.
While on our break, and it was between English people and French people, and every single time we talk about stuff, we usually wind up with me saying, yeah, that's what we do best. What, cyber war? No, we release Stuxnet with the Israelis. We're trying to screw with people's SCADA systems and control their power plants. So I'm sorry, every single time, we're assholes. It really didn't feel good. Every story, well, that's what we do. Yeah, we just make stuff. We go kill people if they're brown and live in sandy areas.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh, yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda. In the morning.
We do have some people to thank. And when you're floating around in those areas, you can always say, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, what are you going to do about it? That's what we do.
What are you going to do about it?
That's what we do. Sorry.
What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, we suck. Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah. All right, let's start off with Dwayne Biblo from Calgary, Alberta. 145.30, but he says he gave 71.15 because he's Canadian and another 74.15 for his birthday on July 4th.
Oh, okay.
We have him down for the birthday. It's 1 point for Canada.
Who is this?
The great battle.
Who is this?
This is Dwayne Biblo. He should be on the list.
Yeah, got him.
Simon Tones, I think it's Toens, in San Francisco. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice.
Nothing interesting to say, he says. Sir Dave Fugazotto, and he's out somewhere in the military, it looks like. And he says, keep up the great work. David Villieux, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. WJB Raps.
Oh, it's been a while.
$100 from Kirkrade. Limburg.
Nailed it.
Jack Ellis in Plano, Texas. That's in the Netherlands, by the way, the Limburg. Jack Ellis in Plano, Texas, $100. I Amsterdam in Amsterdam, $100.
Oh, really? I Amsterdam?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, that's a brand. I am the big sign. I Amsterdam, like I heart. I Amsterdam. I am Amsterdam. I Amsterdam.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if it's the brand.
I Amsterdam.
Yeah, the brand
in his note.
Yeah, nice.
We'll throw a de-douching at the end. Make a note. Put a de-douching in there.
De-douching.
The end. Sir Arthur Gobitz in the Sir Hugger of Kitties, which probably did not appreciate the Eagle stories.
I think you missed Marcus de Roos.
Right. He says, I hate your show. It makes me think. Kevin McLaughlin in Locust, North Carolina, 8910. Gregory Ball, 7777 from Atherton, Greater Manchester, UK. Click the button.
He said should donate more, but I'm skinned. But those interviews were fascinating. You got a lot of compliments for your interviews, John. It was good, and people like the 200.7 show too.
I found some of the compliments to be disconcerting. And I'll tell you why. It's because I'm a fair interviewer. I know what my limits are. And people were thinking that I was a great interviewer because I knew at least some of the topics that I was talking about as opposed to, I guess, everybody else, which is telling me there's really a problem out there with the people doing interviews.
Yeah, maybe we should get in the game.
No.
I'm a pretty decent interviewer.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
We'll do a couple more for future shows where we don't want to make any money. That's the other thing, by the way.
So wait a minute. So we do extra work and we make no money.
It actually took me more hours to do the interview show than it does normally.
No, it took me almost the same amount of time to upload the interview show as it does to do a show. So really,
it was a loser. It was a loser, folks. Sorry, we'll do them, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be a new. Harry Radomski in Beatty, Nevada, 7676. Birthday deal for a best husband in the universe, and we're putting him on the list.
Is he on the
Kenneth War. Anything else in there we need to say?
No, go ahead.
She says your analysis lets people in on the joke that is our political, economic, and world environment. Kenneth Warford in Gardner, Kansas. He comes in for a vote for the United States of America with 7415. Ian Shafi in Los. I said that, didn't I? Yeah. I cannot say Ian.
Ian
Chaffee from Los Angeles, California, 7415. Eric Wesseldike in Burlington, North Dakota, 7415. Christopher Dechter in Richmond, Washington. I didn't know there was a Richmond, Washington. So I scrolled down. John Atwood in Cotter, Arkansas, 7415. Isaac Peugeot in Trussville, Alabama. We're going to bring his shocked thing back as a pie donation in the next episode. We'll talk about it later. Carl Haberger in Rochester, New York, 7415. Eric Wilka in Russiaville, England, 7415. These are all 7415s. Daniel Ehrlich in Boalsburg, Pennsylvania. Sir Herb Lamb, our buddy, in Sugar Hill, Georgia. Mark Bensink in Lansing, Michigan. Zachary Gilbrecht in Cordova, Tennessee. Jason Fortune in Geneva, Illinois. Derek Sharon in Ludlow, Massachusetts. Justin Bloom in Madison, Alabama. And then Richard Moffat, parts unknown. Curtis Golightly in Oklahoma City. And finally, Eric Rin Osnez in Lawndale, California, where it used to be the counterfeiting area. Very famous for a counterfeiter there that used an inkjet printer. Print up $7 million worth of money.
Oh, nice.
Okay, here we go. Canada. Sam Leung in Toronto, 7115. Serge Chad Biederman in Round Lake, Illinois. What is this? Sean Lukashuk in Winnipeg. Scott Thompson in Tonawanda, New York. Anonymous lesbian in Toronto, Ontario. 7115. Simon Reed, 7115 in New York, and Graham Bennett in Toronto, Ontario.
Okay, John, can we have the latest scores in Canada versus America?
Well, yes. Unfortunately, I was going to do that at the end, so I don't have the page up, but I'm going to bring the page up. And it's okay. Here's what happened. We had now. You should listen to this. The Americans came from behind because the Canadians they gave up or something. I don't know what happened. But here's the vote as Eric calculated this. If you want to count the turncoat Brian Edelin of Myrtle Beach's vote, he switched. He said he made a mistake.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the switch, it would have been the USA 33 and Canada 31 because of this come from behind, which is typical of the United States, to go ahead of the Canadians. We were way ahead. If you don't count it and go strictly by the numbers, it's Canada 32, USA 32.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's what I said. So it was not defined. Now, we could do multipliers because there's less Canadian audience, but it's still a podcast for the Canadians and the Americans. So I'm not going to do the multiplier. I'm going to leave it stuck at a tie. No more votes coming in. It's a current tie. We will run another competition in the future as the tiebreaker.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm on the edge of my seat.
I will go back and we will do a what is it called? An audit. Make sure that this vote was correctly tabulated.
Yes. Yeah.
James Zukal in Los Angeles, California, 6969. Wayne Larcombe in Sunnybank Hills, Queensland, 6929. Alex One-Seidler, that's what it is, in Los Angeles, California, $69. Onward to Sir Scoops in Aurora, Indiana, 6666. Charlotte Allen in London, UK, 6207. Lynn Fogwell in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's a great name. Carol Garrett in Eureka, Kansas, 60. Anthony Cuzella in Lost Wages, Nevada, 5678. Charles Hamill in Quebec, Canada, 5555. Kiwi Chris in Wellington, New Zealand.
Sir Chris, I think.
Sir Kiwi Chris, 5555. Andrew Parlett, double nickels on the dime in Elkridge, Maryland. Jessica Cipriano in Tampa, Florida. Sir Pate Snakes, Amsterdam, 5432. Thomas Geska, I'm guessing, in West Seneca, New York, 5133. The following people then are $50 donors only. Rebecca Bolwit, Vancouver, BC. Jakub Wojciak in Wozniak in North Vancouver, BC. Jason Brockman in Hamilton, Ohio. Richard Gardner in parts unknown. Paul Vella in Milton Keynes, UK. Emmanuel Aragni, I guess. What do you think? It's just a Luxembourg name. Emmanuel, not Emmanuel.
I don't know.
Aragni. I don't know. He's in Luxembourg. Thank you, Luxembourg. Brandon Stewart in Dallas, Texas, and J.M. Caballero in Hayward, California. Jason DeLuzio in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Robert Franklin in Bristol, UK. Jason Werner in San Antonio, Texas. Patrick Maycomb, Sir Patrick Maycomb to you in New York City. Paul Webb, Twickenham, Middlesex, UK. 50. David Pete, Aubrey, Texas. Jan van der Laan in Assen.
I like it.
Drenthe.
Nailed it.
Netherlands.
You can get laid now here.
Gene Savella in Junction City, California. I didn't know there was a place. Alexander Sukovi in Sukovi. In Sukovi. It's Sukovi. It's not Sukovi. You don't. I got a long note from him. In Moscow. Tim Abel in Bergfield, Berkshire, UK. A lot of Brits. Well, we were gone. The Brits came in.
Yeah.
Brian Scozzaro in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And finally, we're getting down to the wire with Corey McDonald in Richfield, Minnesota. Nuts. Christopher Walker, no relation. De Pere, Wisconsin, 50. Adam Beck, also in Las Vegas, Nevada, 50. Matthew Januszewski in Chicago. Jason DeLuzio in Chatsford, Pennsylvania. Sir Mark Tanner. This is for 3 shows, by the way. Sir Mark Tanner in Whittier, California. Brian Watson in Raleigh, North Carolina. And last but not least, Sir Brett Farrell, somewhere in Oklahoma, I think. And that's it for a group of donors for show 736, 737, and 738.
And we'll do a, we'll do a jobs karma and a dedouching as requested. And thank you all very much. Also, thank you everybody else who's on a monthly program. And looking forward to more support for Thursday's show as we are back in the saddle, if you know what I mean.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've been de-douched. You've got karma.
All righty.
Now, we do want to thank the people who donated specifically $7.11 to welcome us back.
Yes.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Biblo celebrated on the 4th of July. Carrie Radomski says happy birthday to her husband, George Radomski. He celebrated on the 6th. Sir Jihadi Jim, his birthday is today. Mark Bensick celebrated on the 8th. Justin Bloom says happy birthday to Daniel Morrow. Sir Greg Stone says happy birthday to his fiancée, Jasmine. Jay Dvorak turned 21 on 7/11. And finally, happy birthday to Tina Marie Snyder, who also celebrated on 7/11 yesterday. Happy birthday from Uncle John and Uncle Adam here at the best podcast in the universe.
It's your birthday, yeah.
Let me see. So we have title changes. One, Sir D.H. Slammer becomes the Baron of Central California Coast. So we're very happy for him, and thank you for your courage. We need the following people on stage. We need Anthony Seven, Gavin Boyd, Craig Harris, and Jihadi Jim. If y'all could be careful. Ooh, almost got Jihadi Jim there. And there's the John Sword. Perfect. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much for your support of the best podcast in the universe. The amount of $1,000 more. Hereby I pronounce thee, Sir Anthony Seven, Sir Gavin of St. George, Sir Craig Harris, and Sir Jihadi Jim, the grand douchebag of Hong Kong side. For you, gentlemen, we have Shibari and Fat Rooster Craft Beer, Cheap Wine and Chili Dogs, Raspberry Pies and Breakfast Burritos, Hookers and Blow, Rainbows and Chardonnay, Pork Ribs and Pale Ale, Bad Science and Perky Brass, Dos Equis and Dutch Dominatrix, Porn Stars and Pot. And, of course, we always have the Mutton and Mead, which is a big favorite with the newcomers to the round table of the Knights and the Dames. Your ring will be sent to you post-haste with your specially branded No Agenda sealing wax and your certificate of authenticity. And the certificate also gives you explains your powers, which you and your responsibilities. Go to noagendanation.com/rings. Let me see how we're long, John.
Long John.
Well, yeah, I know. So, do you want to just? I mean, I could go on. There's a lot of other things.
I mean, we can get close. We got a couple of things here. I do have one clip that should be listened to. It's a long clip, but it's well worth listening to.
Okay.
This is the WOW clip. This would be my favorite clip of the show, and because I'm listening to this guy. This guy's Peter Schweizer. He's a writer, and he's done a bunch of books.
Yes, I know this guy. I know who he is.
Okay. Well, he's done a book on Hillary. And He's done a book on the government being screwed up. And he makes this. I never thought of this. I think we all knew this, what he's going to explain. We kind of knew it, I think, but we didn't ever express it. And I just thought that I said, this is great. And so this is the WOW clip, and I think everyone will love listening to this.
Can make things simple, but apart from dire emergencies, they generally choose not to. Complexity is a useful and lucrative method for the legal extortion of politicians.
Yes, that's right. You know, so many laws and regulations now, it's impossible for us to decipher. And the example that I would give is go back and read Glass-Steagall, the big financial reform during the Roosevelt administration in the 30s, where they revamped the entire banking system. It was like 36 pages long. Then fast forward to Dodd-Frank in 2010. When you add all the rules and requirements, I mean, it's well north of 10,000 pages long. Now, has the financial system become that much more complex since the 1930s? It's a little bit more complex, but it's not that much more complex. I'm absolutely convinced that even when it comes to writing regulations, follow the money. And if you are a bureaucrat or you are a congressional staffer and you are writing rules and laws and regulations, there is no upside for you to write a simple and easy to understand law. But if you can write a law that has teeth, that, in other words, people will go to jail if they don't follow, that it's complex and that's really, really difficult to decipher and understand, you've now got a business model. And in the case of Dodd-Frank, you have that. One of the congressional staffers, and I think there are probably others, who was a principal author of that bill, once Dodd-Frank became law, guess what they did? They left Capitol Hill and they got involved with a consulting firm to do what? To interpret this complex bill that nobody else could understand. That's, I think, the problem that we have with rulemaking in the United States today. If you're at the EPA and your job is to write regulations and you write them simple and straightforward, That's great for the country. But if you want to leave that job and become a consultant to corporations, write those environmental laws, very complex, very hard to understand. You can leave the EPA, and as the author of those regulations, you can write a ticket to make massive amounts of money from large corporations who are desperate to follow that bill and can't understand it.
Yeah, forget that. How about just look at Eric Holder?
Well, yeah, you can go back and forth. Now, the thing that wasn't mentioned when he talks about this scam is that if you are the consultant, you wrote the law, and you go into private practice after the law gets passed, and it's a complicated 10,000-page law, which is pretty much the minimum nowadays for these laws. You've looked at them.
Yeah.
10,000 pages. You can not only help a company understand the law and follow the law, but if the company gets dragged into court, you make even more money as the expert witness. And when you go on the stand, I'm the guy who wrote the law. I mean, it's home free.
It's beautiful.
This is an outrageous scam that nobody's addressing.
I'm shocked.
Shocked.
Just a little update as we leave here. A quick 20-second clip about the Iran negotiations. Of course, we've blown through 3 deadlines now, and this is so pathetic.
A very fluid deadline for the Iranian nuclear deal. And while Secretary of State John Kerry, his team, along with their Iranian counterparts, are at the negotiating table, foreign ministers from 5 other nations involved in these talks left after the talks busted through a second extension in a week.
How sad is that? Everyone's like, screw this. This is never going to happen. We're going home. And Kerry's like, oh, man, but I promised. This is the only thing I had to do. I don't know why I'm failing. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, there's something scamish about this whole process.
Ugh.
I have one last clip if you want to go out on that. It's kind of funny.
Okay. Let's go out on. Do you got a really upbeat, funny one for us, John?
It's kind of funny, but it's kind of pathetic at the same time. Here we have, this is the Today Show. We have the newsreader, Elizabeth, and then she's going to throw it to the weather girl. And so this is...
Wait, isn't it Al Roker on the Today Show?
No, he's actually seems to be on the Today Show less and less.
Oh, good.
But he still works there. But this is the new news girl. I think they're trying. Oh no, it's Natalie is her name. Natalie is the newsreader, and she's very attractive, very petite.
Yep.
And she's going to wrap up the news with this little one item, and then throw it to the weather girl to comment on the item. It was just, this is the kind of material you get on national television. These people are getting paid millions of dollars.
Okay. Well, first it was the infamous dress debate. Was it blue and black or white and gold? But now this picture is going viral. Take a look. Viral? 2 bottles of nail polish and that high heel shoe. A Twitter user asking which color matches the shoe best. Is it the purple one on the left or the more pink one on the right? What do you think? Most people saying the bottle on the right.
Oh.
I say the one on the left. The debate rages on. Well, let's get a check of the weather right now from Dylan. What do you see, Dylan?
I see the one on the left, and then it switches to the one on the right, and then I just keep going back and forth. Yes. But your lipstick matches the shoes, so
that I would agree
with. I feel like that's all that matters right now.
Yes,
but as you said earlier, just go with a nice dark black. That'll go perfectly with the shoes. Looking at the weather for the weekend as we
Hot Pockets.
Oh my God. Yeah. No wonder people are trying to keep us afloat. That shit's not good for you people. Stop watching that crap. That cannot be healthy.
No.
There's just no way that's healthy. It's just not okay. All right, well, good to be back in the saddle. I have a ton more stuff, so I'm excited about
Thursday?
We can. Most of it's usable on Thursday, for sure. And I'll have more.
Yeah.
We'll have more on what's happening in Greece, because by then we'll know if the banks opened at all. And
it's going to drag on, that. It's going to drag on.
Well, we'll see. But it's going to get people are going to get hungry. They're going to get pissed off. So it's a template, and I'm in the middle of it as your fearless reporter here in the central storage space for all Russian oil and gas flowing through to Europe. That would be Rotterdam, the Netherlands, in the autistic cave owned by Christina Curry. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I guess the July 4th terrorist attack didn't take place, but I'm expecting it to happen on the 15th. I'm John C. Borat.
We'll be back on Thursday with more media deconstruction and assassination right here on No Agenda.
Let's take a deep breath here. At the end of the day, I think,
what difference at this point does it make?
I'm going to be telling the American people,
what difference at this point does it make?
I want people to understand,
what difference at this point does it make?
This is being blown up, but
what difference at this point does it make?
When questions are raised about me and my husband, I think,
what difference at this point does it make?
This has been a theme for many, many years.
What difference at this point does it make?
Okay, I get it. That's fine. At the end of the day, I think,
what difference at this point does it make?
And the truth is, that's the kind of person I am. 100%, 100%, 100%.
Women just encircled the Christians and went, Satan, 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 oh, give us power! Ah, Satan!
No. Hey, no. Hey. Hey, no. Hey, listen. Hey, you're in my house. Hey, shame on you. You shouldn't be doing this.
Actually, you know assassinations are specifically prohibited by Executive Order 12333.
It was worth it.
The best podcast in the universe.
Adios, mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Amen. Fist bump.